Well, here we go. I am sitting around waiting for anybody else to show up, but nobody else has shown up yet. So this will be the solo show for a little while. Then eventually people will filter in. At least I hope. This will be pretty boring if all you people had to do was all you had was to listen to me the entire evening. Hello, Nathaniel. Hello, Kabuki Kid. I guess this is the Ask Me Anything section of the Alaboom. Um, Tonight I am drinking a Sundrop. I need to find Sundrop Zero. Haven't found it yet. It exists, as we discovered last week. So I also have an energy drink because I slept like crap last night. So anyway. Hmm. I don't think no Kabuki Kid is a bot, as we said. There's no way. I don't think Nathaniel. I don't think Kabuki Kid is going to jump on the stream in any way, shape, or form anytime ever. So that's just my opinion. What do I know? Who knows? Uh but wonderful idea. Hey, Robert. Um, so I will obviously the big giant elephant in the room obviously is Final Frontier games. And that whole aspect. I'm not going to dive too deep into that without somebody else here to ping pong my ideas off somebody because I do think it's a discussion to have. And I want to have that discussion at some point. I mean, I have feelings. As a publisher, I think I have to keep a lot of those feelings inside. I mean, the bottom line is that I don't like hearing about anybody's company failing. That just sucks. And it sucks for them and it sucks for their employees and it sucks for everything. And yes, I did see the Cluey. Thank you for sending that along. I did invite him and I did bother him and ask him to show up. I have no idea. And I did ask Uncle Shane, Uncle Grumpy Shane to show up as well. I don't know if they're going to be able to make it or not, but uh hopefully, right? Hopefully. But uh yeah, and I could I'll pester Chris a little bit and tell him he needs to uh make it happen or whatever. Um Chris is just a good guy and he puts his convictions to the test on a regular basis. So but regardless, I I may have regret backing the latest Cthulhu Death May Die. So here's the deal. I mean, a lot of people are saying that, hey, Simon's cool mini or not. I don't like Simon. I like saying cool mini or not. I don't know. I just remember when they were cool mini or not, and I liked that. Um, I mean, I remember Super Dungeon Explorer. Do you guys remember that game? Fabulous minis. Um, just stuff looked amazing. Uh, and and I remember that when I went to their first booth, I actually I mean, eventually like I got to know the people that behind the thing. Obviously Peter, when he was on the show on a more regular basis, or just when he was on the show, we had that connection, to Cool Mini. But I mean, it takes me back to uh, there is a chain of um uh, hotels, and I don't know if they exist still or not. I mean, I think we still have the one here in town, but they were called the Come On In, like C apostrophe MON in, like come on in, like that, and then so it's come on in, and that was what it is. And I remember when I was delivering pizzas, um, back then, I remember getting a call and the guy's like, "Yeah, I'm at the Simon Inn," and okay, and then of course you have the jokes there. It's like, what, you know? And then eventually, like, "Oh, the come on in," and the guy said, "Oh, that makes more sense." He said, "Now that I'm thinking about it," and I was just like, "Yeah, okay, whatever." But I don't know. So whenever I think of that, I think of the come on in, and I think of that one delivery that I took of the Simon Inn. But anyway, um, I think everybody will get their stuff. Uh, as far as with Coolmini or not, and their and the things that they are publishing. I mean, and the outstanding items or whatever that they have. Um, it's just it's just not going to be a situation where I mean I do feel like the big giant 27 boxes of miniatures Kickstarters are it's over. It's over. Like it's just it's you're still going to have a few of them out there that will do it. I think we've reached that glut, and we've reached that point where um, it's over, Johnny. Yeah, there we got the reference. Thank you, thank you. Uh, um, they it's a situation where and we've talked about this ad nauseum here. I have 20 boxes of Cthulhu Wars, and obviously Sandy Peterson's games is done. I mean, we can all just assume, and rightfully so, in my opinion, that Peterson Games is never going to deliver any of the things that they said they're going to deliver. If you have any money on, it's like having Blacklist miniature, old pledges. We're never gonna get it, and you just have to come to terms with that. You have to just when you see it on your list of Kickstarter projects that haven't fulfilled, you just have to scroll by it and forget that it was there. Um, and yeah, Kabuki Kid might as well have backed up front. I mean, exactly. I mean, and there are still situations there with and here's the deal. What Sandy Peterson Games, I mean and I know Sandy. I mean, I haven't had a conversation with Sandy in years now. Um and with any of these situations, nobody the lazy gamer. Nobody went into these things saying I'm gonna ruin my company and ruin myself financially and then not give anybody anything. Um, Nobody goes into it with that mentality. I think what happens is that you compound bad choice after bad choice after bad choice. And anybody that was watching the Peterson Games fiasco, I mean, when they made the decision that they were like, oh, well, we could deliver the games right now, but we've signed this like mythical agreement with another company to have like our games be in retail stores, and that's going to make us all this way more money. And that's why you're going to have to wait extra long because we're going to print off a ton of these games. And that's why you got to wait extra long to get that. I mean, it sounded really fishy. I mean, and I think there was a great deal of disingenuous statements, which is unfortunate. Um, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like if I saw Sandy at a convention, which theoretically I could, because he is going to RPG conventions, and there's a few RPG conventions I want to go. I don't think I would ever bring any of it up because why would you rub salt in a wound? Um, I certainly wouldn't ask him for several hundred of my dollars that he took because what are you going to do? I think it's a situation where um you just have to you have to look at all those situations where it was like they were running they were running Kickstarters to pay for the last one. And when you take from Peter to pay Paul, you're going to run out of Peters eventually. And it's something that sadly, in a lot of ways, Tasty Minstrel Games. I mean, I'm not saying anything people don't know with this, and I'm not here to like trash on TMG. I think we did our best, and I wasn't, but in a lot of situations, I wasn't really, and I don't. this kind of sounds lame, but I didn't really know financially what was going on with the company a lot. But I mean, but I knew Michael, and Michael was a really good guy. I don't think he ever went into a situation saying, I'm going to try and screw people out of money and screw people out of their stuff. And I think at the very end, I think except for the last campaign, for Emperor's Choice, like that was the one where they eventually it just it didn't happen, right? I mean, they that was the last one where which Emperor's Choice was a was a good game. I enjoyed it, and I liked playing my games of it. But when it when that was one of those where unfortunately, like I said, it just never came um never came to fruition. And which is unfortunate, which it's one of those things where um uh and like I said, I think, and I don't know this for sure, but I do think that Michael, because that was after I was gone, but I do think Michael did finally refunded everybody. But and people were refunded. So and I might be wrong on that, so don't quote me on that. But uh it's just one of those things, right? And a lot of those things that happened were it was just unfortunate decisions and unfortunate situations or whatever. And so with Final Frontier, if we kind of circle back, I mean, it's one of those things where it was like there's a lot of people that will say things along the lines of how did it get so bad, right? And it's just one of those things where it's like it's a cascading issue and problem. And it was a situation there where, yeah, Kubuki, the people who bought shares in TMG near the end likely lost out the most. I mean, I'm not gonna say anything about that just because uh I have some inside baseball on that one, and I don't think it's my I don't want to say anything. So I don't mean to be like, "Ooh, I know something, I know a secret," and I'm not going to tell. I don't want to sound like that. It's just it's a situation where um, what's the point? What's the point at this point to say anything about it? Um, Track me down at a convention sometime and ask me to tell you TMG stories at some point. And again, I don't want to sit here and dunk on my old job. Andy, Seth, Michael, uh, um, Aaron, just all really, really, really good people, and just what a great place to work, and what a great like positive like force that we all were. And just like I said, I mean, it was just like everybody was just in it, and so great and so awesome. And yeah, I mean, it was just really, really and I love the fact that Andy is now like basically the driving force behind the games over at Trick or Treat Studios. The guy is super smart and brilliant, and he's going to crush it uh over there. And he is. I mean, did you see that the fact that they're reprinting um Camp Grizzly? They're gonna do that. I signed up. I mean, I own it, right? I own Camp Grizzly. I'm one of like the few people that do. And it's a situation there where it's like um thanks for making my games worthless now, but I look forward to backing that. I mean, I don't back many board games. I don't. I mean, because I'm trying to get rid of them all and I don't want any more. I back RPGs, but you know, I got my actually I did back to get the old, like they did that Atomic Empire Kickstarter, and then you could back to get like the old school art so it matches the one that Minion Games, James Matthew, rest in peace, get the one that matches the expansion that matches your game. And so I did back for that. Um, and I got my email today saying, "Hey, we're probably gonna have to charge you tariffs for this when we make it." And then, again, that's fine. I mean, it's I mean, tariffs are just a thing. We are very lucky. I mean, we're going to have to do a reprint of um Champions of Midgard, and Deception, at Great Fox Games at some point this year. But right now we have enough reserves and stock that we're okay. The big thing is that we're looking at options, right now. We're lucky that Deception are and I'm not, I don't quote me on any of this. This is just like in conversations or whatever. But one of the nice things about Deception is that it is mostly cards. And if we decided to make the game within the US, we could get a pretty reasonable, good quality version of that game printed in the United States if these tariffs still stay in place. So, so that's one thing we're looking at. And so we're kind of in a position also like our big game. Obviously, we have to make the Champions of Midgard 10th anniversary deluxe edition. We're going to have to make that in China. I mean, there's just no way we can get the quality and everything. We're going to have to make it. But the really nice thing about that is that we don't have to hit the button to start manufacturing for several months. And theoretically, things will stabilize and this insanity of whatever 8 million% or whatever it is at now probably won't exist at that time. And we'll be able to have a better idea. By the way, if you didn't back, if you backed Champions of Midgard, the deluxe anniversary edition, the pledge manager should open up theoretically like next week. I have to start. I had a really long meeting with GameFound today about things. And I want to say this. I've definitely, like, if people have asked me like what's your thought about GameFound as a pledge manager, I have absolutely positively said the user interface on the back end is horrible. And they're working on making it better. And it is way better than it used to be, but it is still not the best. But um they're working really, really hard at uh they're going to put in a program that is going to allow you to, like, if tariffs are insane and when your products get to the port, like, you are going to have the option of like applying those, like, if you're going to say, well, everybody's got to pay an extra $4 or something like that, they're putting in like basically a tariff charger that is going to be in place within GameFound. So I mean, and it's really nice to have people you can talk to. Like I said, I got a long thing. I mean, Alex, I mean, he's part of the group. He can join anytime he wants. I don't think Alex joins that often. So he hasn't been on in quite some time. So but I have no idea like where Scott is or anything. I'm gonna pester somebody here real quick here. Well, where are you? It's gonna be tough to play initials with everybody in the chat. I'm just gonna say that's gonna be a difficult sell. But that's my thought is uh as far as that is. I think that with this one, it's with Vinyl Frontier, which, okay, let's just say right off the bat, like, I think both Coloma and Merchant's Cove are both amazing games. I mean, just amazing. Cavern, um, you know, also amazing. Um, and there was the other one that Cavern came. I'm gonna have to look it up to see. Uh, Cavern, yeah. So Cavern Cavern, and then that was, you know, Merchants Cove, Coloma, Rise to Nobility. Not, I mean, like seriously, not as well known, but Rise to Nobility was a great freaking game. I mean, really, really good. Um, and but you know, like Coloma, fantastic. I still have my I think I was a in Cavern Tavern. I think I was a card. They made a special card for me, but I might be misremembering. It doesn't matter. But Rise to Nobility was just a really, really, really good game. Uh, and just fantastic stuff. They made really good stuff, and uh, the unfortunate thing is that I mean it's just yeah I mean it's just they did not go into these situations saying, oh, I hope we lose all this money. I mean it's just it is a it is just a it's just a bad deal all around. And like I said, Coloma is probably in my opinion their best game. um and then well, it looks like somebody decided they'd show up and say hello. uh Looks like Barry is gonna pop in here as I look over and I see him slowly but surely coming in. There he is.
Very, very slowly.
Very, very
Ah.
slowly. How are you doing, Barry?
Yeah, I'm okay, thank you.
Well,
Okay.
I appreciate you making sure I wasn't lonely.
Yeah,
Um,
that was the thing. I just switched on the PlayStation. I was flicking through YouTube channels while I had my first coffee of the morning, and I saw you on your own, and I thought, yeah,
yeah, no, and Aldi's not responding to me, so I hope he's okay. I mean, like now I'm worried. I mean, I'm just gonna say now I'm worried because it's just like because I talked to him earlier today. He and I were on the phone talking about stuff this morning, and he was like, you know, because we usually have we. I'm not trying to be cool or anything like that, but we like Aldi and I will have conversations every once in a while,
yeah,
and um no, and it was just like one of those things where uh we'll end up chatting about whatever, and then uh we ended up um he said I gotta go, I got a meeting, and I was like, all right, cool, whatever. And then I said I'll talk to you later tonight. He said cool, and then now it's later tonight and I haven't heard from him, so I hope he's okay. um but
yeah, well,
he
just
said, just text me. He said, sorry, give me a minute.
yeah,
So
probably a very important meeting.
go stuff your sorries, is what I say. Now that I
Yeah.
know he's okay, now I can say, go stuff your sorries.
Oh, no, no, but it's good to be concerned about your friends and to
Well, no,
feel,
I don't like that. I don't like, I mean, because like when you have that regular thing, I mean, I
yeah,
might be weird, but I start getting like when I know somebody is like, you know, and then I'm like, where are you? You know, just kind of like you're, and I get that way. I mean, I get that way about I'll get that way about my kids a lot, you know, just like,
yeah,
why aren't you responding to my inquiry about
yeah.
where you are?
I know. I'm the same kind of. I'm a punctual person. You know, if someone invites you to their house, it's like I had a weekend, and it was 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I was there, bang on 2 o'clock. And when I invite people to my house, and I say, "Oh yeah, 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock," or they say, "I'll be there at 3 o'clock," and then they turn up at 3:30. You know, there's that 30 minutes of worrying where the fuck they are. Has something happened to them? Are they not coming? Has something happened on the road?
Yeah.
And it's just like your stomach turns and you're like, and I kind of feel alone as well. I don't have many friends in France. I don't have many
Well,
people.
I was gonna say you don't have any friends, but I could be wrong. You know.
I have lots of friends, but I don't have a lot
Oh,
of
now he's
friends
bragging. Now he's
in
bragging.
my
Well, I got
proximity.
lots of friends. I mean,
Yeah, but you know how life is. You meet people, you become attached, they become attached to you. But life gets in the way, and then you go your different ways, and you're distracted by all these other things which are going on. but they're still your friends. You know, they're people that you can just bump into, and it's like you saw each other just last week, but it's been years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so
But
obviously, well, yeah, now I have a um
a reflection.
I now no well now I have a sounding board so I can talk. So I'm assuming you're oh well Aldi's gonna be here any minute, so I'm gonna wait for him.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll just look pretty here.
Do you have a grievance or anything that you want to do?
Probably it's too early in the morning for me to think about anything apart from the games that I played the weekend, and that's about
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Nothing. Do you have any grievances apart from being pissed off with the Tangerine Dream?
Why would I be pissed off at Tangerine Dream?
The Tangerine Dream, not Tangerine Dream. The orange one.
Oh, sorry. Now I'm following you. No.
Yeah.
Um, I had a moment where like I was like, y- as we get older, like when you say, "Oh, I got all this stuff," like the table behind me, like
Hmm.
I will always like put like that's where we play D&D and stuff. So all my D&D stuff was on there, and like and then but that's kind of my place where it's like I'm reading this book and I'll put it on the table. I'm doing this, I'll put it on this book. And then like so I will sometimes go a couple of weeks between sessions, and so there was a pile of either books I was reading or projects I was doing, or make sure I take care of this kind of stuff, or I got this package in the mail, put it there. And I was reading an RPG book that I found really interesting. And and then like it was like, oh, my friends are coming over. So I need to take all this stuff and I need to put it away. And so
Yeah.
I have multiple uh I have multiple bookshelves down here. Um and truth be told, I need probably like 20 more, but I don't have room for them. But and they're actually kind of decently organized. Like these are the Call of Cthulhu shelves, these
Hmm.
are the original D&D shelves, these are and so on and so forth. Uh and I was the book I was reading, like I was like it was the book that it was tough to get because I have to basically order it. Um there's an RPG writer called Gabor Lux is and
Sounds like a
eh,
pen name.
well, I'm sure it is. But his whole thing is called Beyond Fomalhaut. And like Fomalhaut is like this world uh that like he's created or whatever. And like that's where he like that's what he where he does all of his stuff or whatever. Anyway, so uh I ordered it basically like when you order from him, it's like he's in Hungary, and it's just like so when you order anything from him, it it takes forever to get there, and also it's not cheap, right? I mean, the games, the books themselves are fine, right? But as far as like the shipping to get it here and everything like that
Hmm.
is really, 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 really like it's not cheap.
So
So
tell
we'll
me what you
just
want, what you really, really want.
yeah, something along those lines, right? Um,
Yeah.
and anyway, so like and then so I bought and so I was like, well, if I'm gonna put an order in, I'm gonna like buy several books. I'm not gonna buy like one, pay a ton of shipping. Because if you buy like 8 things, the shipping's like only slightly more expensive than if you buy one. So I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna like buy uh a decent amount of stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
And so no, and then one of the things I bought was this cool hardcover, um, the King of the Kosura, the King of the Wastelands, and it's a fantastic book. It is it is not um just show a quick little so you can kind of see like maps and
Hmm.
yeah and cool stuff to look at and everything like that and it is not as and this is library binding too. It is not like I mean this is like they go you know where it isn't a print on demand book. I mean, like,
Yeah.
anyway, I couldn't find that book. And that was kind of like the jewel of the things that I bought. That was like, and I knew I had read it, and I knew I'd had it on that table, and I couldn't find it anywhere. I had all, and because I was like, I was like, I'm gonna start, because one of my shelves is like indie publishers, and I was like, I'm gonna put the all those things that I got on that one, and I found the other like 9 books that I bought, but I couldn't find that one anywhere. And I was like, well, fuck, where did I put it? And I searched the house, and I searched the house, and I searched the house, and um and then I couldn't find it anywhere. And then what I had done, of course, is that I had taken several larger style books like this, and I had stacked them up nicely in a corner on top of each other, kind of like on purpose to like say, okay, this is my stuff that I don't have a space for right now. And I had put it over there in that stack. But of course, I didn't check that stack. And then today I was just back in that corner of the room putting
Mhm.
something away, and I looked down and I saw the book, and I was like, God damn it, there it is. Yeah. I was glad I found it. I
Yeah.
was happy that I found it, but I mean, but it's one of those things where it's like, oh, I'm going to be clever, and I'm going to make sure that when I put these things away, I'm going to make sure that you know, I don't do anything. I make, it's just, yeah. Anyway,
That's a part of getting old as well. It's just like you chuck things down and it's like, where the fuck did I chuck it? And then you got to backtrack the whole
my
house.
my big thing is wondering where I have put, like where are my keys. That's a
Mm.
common one. I know I had them. I put them down somewhere. Now where did I put them? That kind of thing.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and I yeah.
I don't have that problem with keys. I'm kind of like in a routine for keys. No problem. There's like a key in the door here. There's a key on the wall there. And I'm always like, my route is planned. When I go to the chickens, I take the chicken key. I go to the garden, unlock the garden gate, go to the chicken pen, unlock the chicken pen, come back home, lock everything back up, put the key back, take my shoes off. It's like routine. But there are those moments when you accidentally, something distracts you from your routine. Someone is in your path and you start talking to them, and then you forget the keys in your pocket, and then you take your trousers off because you're doing a different job, and then you it's like, where's the keys? Where's the
Yeah.
keys?
I lose my mind with that stuff all the time.
Mm.
But um you say keys go to the same spot every time, but like you come in the house and you're like, I should hang these keys up, but you got like your, fucking takeout dinner or whatever, or the whatever you went shopping, and you got your stuff, and you got your keys in your hand, and you
Hmm.
got your stuff in your hand. Then you walk upstairs and you put that stuff down, and then you're like, now I got to put this stuff away in the fridge, and you put that stuff away in the fridge, and then you were just out and about for like 2 hours, and your brain is just frazzled because you've been driving around town, you've been talking to people, you've been talking to your wife, you've been talking to your kids, you can put all that
Yeah.
stuff away. You're hungry, you grab yourself a snack, you grab yourself a drink, you sit down, and then you promptly forget about the fact that you put the keys in the drawer because they're in your hand. And then the next day you're like, I got to drive my car. Where the
Fuck
fuck
the
are
key.
my keys?
Mm.
Just like, what did I do with them? What happened to these things?
Yeah, I normally sit down and go, ah, there they are. That hurt.
I mean, there have been times when, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Henry
So
David Thoreau once famously said,
go on.
uh, we don't own things, things own us.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
because
this coffee owns me or the
um,
world.
um,
I was going to say, probably doesn't affect you much, but what do you think about all these league designers leaving Wizards from D&D?
I mean, it's just contracts are up, you know, and here's the hold on a second. Just responding to a text.
Yeah,
Um,
I just got one as well.
yeah. I texted you. No.
By mistake.
Yeah. No. I mean, I'm not. I tend not to follow that stuff because it's just so full of like, it's every freaking dumb fucking YouTube RP, dungeon tuber
Yeah, yeah,
who are just trying to cash in on the oh my gosh, more people leaving Watsy, they're going out of business. It's like no,
yeah.
they aren't. They're still, years later, when you're sitting here been screaming at the top of your lungs how they're going to go out of business and they're not going to exist anymore.
Mm.
They're still going to be around, and you'll be gone. You and your little shitty YouTube channel will be gone, but they'll still be around.
Yeah,
And it's just and it's so it's like I sit there and I here's the deal. The only reason anybody cares is because people are screaming about it on YouTube, right? Because it can get clicks, it can get links, it can get whatever. That's the only reason
uh,
anybody cares.
yeah.
Eh,
Well, the reason I care is because my job is partly contained within it. So
well, no, and I want you to be able to continue making money and do your thing,
yeah,
and so I don't want that to happen. But I mean, honestly, what it is, it's like those people had been there for how many years? I
yeah,
mean, several. So what's the whole? What do they say that like? The whole thing is that if you're still working at the same job you've had for like 5 years, you're losing money because if you move someplace else, you'd be able to make more money somewhere else, right? But
yeah,
and there's security and other things to take in mind too, like whatever. You just that should not be your like I should move because I make more money. I don't want people to get that wrong. I mean, people stay with jobs for tons of reasons, like and they're but that's that old adage, and I can't help but think that some top level executive or creator or designer or whatever that's been working for Watson for the last 4 or 5 years, they are continuing to make more and more money. And when their contract came up, Wizards of the Coast was like, well, this is kind of on autopilot at this point, right? I mean,
yeah,
D&D is kind of so why are we paying you all this money? We can probably find somebody that we can do your job for about half of the money,
mm,
and you can go and create something else.
yeah. But they are the faces of D&D, aren't they?
But
You
but
know, whenever they do
you
an advertising video, their faces are there. Whenever they do a live show with, famous actors or whatever, they are hosting it. And it's like, well, if they're gone,
it'll
you
be
know,
somebody else. I mean,
yeah,
it'll be somebody else, and then they'll just be like, and it'll be somebody else who's photogenic and saying, "Hey, I'm Joe Schmo, you know, chief design officer of whatever. I'm here with." Insert name of famous guy who plays D&D. Isn't it cool? He plays D&D. He plays D&D. You play D&D. Isn't that cool?
yeah.
I mean,
But
yes,
like with people that get attached and like TV shows, you
nobody gets
leave.
attached though. Yeah, I would say that the percentage of people. I mean, I don't want to talk over you, Barry, but I just think the,
Gone.
the the percentage of people that actually fucking care about whether or not whoever is in charge of Wizards of the Coast at this point is almost nothing. So hey,
He has visitors.
I was
Awesome.
worried about you, Scott.
Sorry, we were cleaning my garage.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks amazing, actually. Like and it took us like maybe a little bit longer than an hour.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Although
not as
we've been working on it for a while.
bad as it could have been.
Yeah. But it's looking
Where's
great.
Nikki? How's it going?
Okay.
Give me 1 second.
Okay,
I'll get us both on the camera if I can remember how to do it.
That's all
you
right.
move it. You move it
You really
slightly.
do that.
No, it's one of those cameras that I can control with the software. I just got to remember.
Oh, because your software could be a hand that just reaches up and goes like
It
this.
doesn't work like that though.
Oh, don't tell me
Uh,
your curtains close at your in your house and your lights go on with a remote control. And your music is on and off.
did you
No,
leave Lincoln? And did you leave Lincoln in the garage? He's still cleaning. You're like, you stay out here and keep
he's
working.
yeah, he wanted to.
We tried
We
to
tried to
get
get him to
come.
come.
He's like, no, I'm gonna keep working.
Where is that program?
So we told him to play some more pinball and take a break, but that's Lincoln for you.
Yeah.
He never
Yeah.
Just
stops.
take a break. Where is my camera control?
If you go in this
It's
way,
it's
then
it's called
sometimes they
Insta.
go
No,
around
it's
the
gonna.
camera, but
I'll get us in there.
This is
How you
fascinating.
doing?
We're fine. I mean, here's my deal with Wizards of the Coast. Nobody's going to care. They'll still sell books. They'll still sell adventures. They'll still do whatever. I mean, they came to their senses and realized that nobody wants virtual tabletop, and they're just going to throw that idea away. I mean,
It's a shame because it looks shiny.
It
Oh,
did look shiny,
I never
but
saw it. What did it look like?
I mean, it looked like, 3D, be able to, and like the whole idea was, I think that the idea was it was gonna be microtransactions where it was like, oh, you sign up and you pay your money, you pay your monies, and then you begin having like uh yeah, nice. You have a cool little avatar, and then like you could pay money to make sure your avatar, like, oh, but my dwarf fighter wields a two-handed hammer. Oh, well, for 99 cents you can buy this package of
Why
two-handed
did they abandon
hammers.
that? They always do this with their software. They always make some cool
I think it
ideas and
was
then they just never really they never finish them.
yeah, I think it was just one of those things where it was like the amount of money it was going to talk to get it up and running and everything. It just, I mean, somebody was like, well, this is going to cost us this much money, and how much, and how long will it take for this to be profitable?
Yeah.
And is it easier to cut our losses right now?
Yeah.
And I think that's what they did.
I think in the long term it would have been profitable because people are moving away from buying physical books. I mean,
You
there
gotta
was a
run out of
time.
space. There's all like Board Game Arena is kind of amazing.
Hmm,
Hmm.
I
If you're
get confused on it. A
it
lot of people use it to
it
learn
could be
games,
easier.
and for me, end up more confused than if I just sit and read the rule book first.
Yeah.
They have those
It's
tutorials.
yes, the
It's like,
tutorials are
I
hard.
don't know what I'm doing.
Some of the tutorials are hard to follow. I agree. They could be better. But I don't know how they could be. I like
Yeah.
they're adequate, but they're not great. That makes sense.
hmm,
Anyway.
yeah. It was
Yeah,
nice.
I mean, it's fine.
But
Uh
the world is moving away from physical object.
Hmm, yeah.
There's a
well,
market for non-physical board games.
Yep.
And
I
maybe
already
even more of a market sometime soon.
yeah. Well, I just quoted my
This is good.
I can't talk. Henry David Thoreau. We don't own things; things own us.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we
it's
went to
just
this game store tonight called Common Ground in Dallas, which is really banging
banging.
store,
Showing
jamming.
your age.
It's a happening
It's a banging place. It's a happening place. Happening. They're very friendly there. I listened to that guy greet every single person that walked through the door.
Yep.
Which is cool, right?
Yeah.
That's old school though, but it makes you feel like
They're all and they're
care.
every yeah, it's super friendly, super outgoing. They're like, "Can we help you find anything? You find anything, all the stuff."
Hmm.
And
But that's like France as well. As soon as you walk through the shop door, there's someone there to say hello, morning. How
Right,
you
they're
doing?
not just going to let you be on your own.
No, they even if they're occupied with something else and are the customers at the till, they
Right.
will look at you and say bonjour, ça va? And then you can walk into the shop and do whatever you want. So you've broken that ice, you recognize that face, you recognize that voice.
Yeah.
If you do need anything, you can go straight to them.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's a great strategy.
Yeah, it's a really great store operated by a guy named Jameson, and he's wonderful. He's delightful.
Mm.
Anyway, we were just kind of walking around the store. We're like, let's just spot check where these games are coming from. I would say 1 in 10 was not from China.
Yeah.
1 in 10. Like we checked a lot. We're like, oh, what about this? What about this? What about that? Just like the games that like, everything that's sort of current right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope Jameson store survives.
So where were the other games coming from?
But they have Magic too. Germany. Germany was the second most common, but not very common.
Hmm.
And one from Czech Republic, but it wasn't a Czech game, which was kind of funny. I don't remember which game that was though. It surprised me.
To you guys
Yeah, I was just sort of spot checking. I was like, oh, China, and oh, not China, Germany or Czech Republic. Nothing from Vietnam that I could see. Nothing, China was most of it. Anyway.
How many
Anyway,
businesses can
indeed.
you see moving to Russia to set up a board game publishing there?
Hopefully not.
They got their own bag of problems.
Yeah, but according to Ignacy Chavicek, I was just watching a bit of his video the other day, his podcast. He was saying that that there are board game publishers in Russia, sorry, who are publishing his game there, and they don't have any problem,
Okay.
which
Not
is
surprising.
hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, Matthew.
Hey, folks.
I'm sort of speechless at the whole thing. Honestly, I don't know what to say anymore.
Hmm.
It is
tell-
what it is, as Lance says.
Well, and as my wife
And-
says, nobody ever says that about anything good.
No. Thank God it's not 245% or whatever the new number is.
Isn't it though?
Is it going
No,
up?
it's only
No, it's
on
only-
certain things or
Only
whatever.
on hypodermics and needles.
Oh.
Oh.
That's horrible too. There are a lot
Yeah.
of
No, I mean that's still
health
awful.
problems that need those things.
Yeah. What if you have diabetes?
Exactly. It's
Yeah, it's. But
Another wave of
yeah,
COVID.
I don't understand I don't understand any logic behind any of it. But nothing make sense. We're in an upside down world.
Hmm.
It's bizarro world.
Bizarre world. That's a better word.
mm-mm.
Did you see that China just basically said raising these anymore would just be stupid? We're just not going to do it. I mean, it's just like this is ridiculous at this point. I mean, they basically like said, that's fine. You can just raise whatever. We're not going to raise ours anymore, but we're not going to lower them either. Because this is all just dumb.
Oh,
how
I did
about-
not see that response.
Yeah, it was basically because raising them anymore would just it's just ridiculous at this point.
So they're
I-
calling his bluff because that's all he's doing.
You know,
From in the face and then getting them to play his game his way with
Yeah.
his rules. And they're like, no.
I think
Well,
I mean it's
we
it's
talked
just
about this
ridiculous.
last week, but do you remember the scene in
Breakfast
Breakfast
Club.
Club with Bender and the
Yeah.
teacher?
You want another one?
You want another one?
Yes.
That's another one.
Yeah.
That's 3. Or he starts counting them, right?
Yeah.
4. You got another. Are you done yet? No. Not even close. But and you're like,
Got you.
that's
for your-
another.
2 months.
Got anything else to say? Eat my shorts.
I got you for 2 months.
2 months. He does
He
like,
does the
or is it like this?
Yeah. He's
Is
like
it
2
this?
months,
Is it
Bender.
this? Or oh, it's
No,
this.
he goes like this. He's like
2 months.
he's like 2 months, Bender.
Can't do it.
I
The
got you
camera's
for 2
reversed on
months.
us, so I can't do it.
Yeah. So I was telling Aldi.
But it just feels like that, right? Like it's just an escalation that you're just no one's willing to back down.
So interesting thing about Breakfast Club. So I was telling Aldi about this. I remember I would like I worked at that video store, and so I would always look at the and I worked at an actual video store, not like a DVD rental place. I worked at a video store where we still did videotapes back in the day. And
Be kind, rewind.
yeah, so like the special features like in on the Breakfast Club thing was they had like this thing. It was like I don't know what it was. It was some special edition of it. But I remember, and I might be misremembering this, but they had like either removed or deleted scenes that made the teacher guy, the villain.
What was his name?
I can't remember his
I gotta
name
find
either.
it.
Yeah, they made him
Good kid.
actually like the kids like when they're sneaking out or something like that, they overhear him talking on the phone like in his office or whatever, having an argument with his wife, and they're like obviously estranged, and like he's like, I need to come back to the house. He's like, he's my kid too, you know, I need, you know, it's like I get to see him, and he's just like, and that's the reason why he's available every weekend, because he's like living in an apartment by himself and he's going through a divorce. And like, and so it was like one of those things where you realize that like he's mad at his life and how his life has turned out, and he's taking it out on the kids. And so it was like one of those things where it's like, well,
He's sympathetic.
you
Yeah,
don't
that
want
makes
to make him sympathetic, so it kind of
Yeah.
ruins it a little bit. So they were like, we'll make him a
Easy black and white.
yeah, it's you know, you don't want that shade of gray. You just want the kids to be able to hate on him. So
His name was Richard Vernon, by the way. I
yeah,
don't remember them name.
Vernon. They
Was it
said-
Vernon? Did they say Vernon?
Yeah, it is.
Principal Vernon.
Yeah,
Kabuki Kid, of course,
Yeah.
knows.
Hmm.
okay, there it is.
so here's I did not look this up. but what was the reason why everybody was
in
there
detention.
intention? So the jock
I
is
just remember
easy.
Ali Sheedy.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
classic question, and I've heard it before, but I don't remember all the.
So the jock is easy because he attacked the weirdo kid and everybody and
He taped the kid up and then
yeah, he taped the kid's butt
the
cheeks
tape
together.
took the skin off when he pulled it off.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And
Yeah, it was like pulling
so
off a band-aid, but not a band-aid.
um Anthony Michael Hall, the nerd, he brought a flare gun with him
His
to
locker.
school.
Oh, that's
And
right.
then the flare gun went off and like caused damage in the school or whatever. Molly Ringwald skipped school to go shopping. You know,
Forgot.
she skipped school to go shopping. Bender pulled a fire alarm because he said, "Is that funny, huh? Like pulling a fire alarm while you're at school?" Bender pulled, and then Ali Sheedy, she was bored
She
and
had
didn't have
nothing
it.
better to do.
She had nothing better to do, and she just showed up for detention, and they just assumed that she was there for a reason.
Yeah.
Remember though, ladies, if you're the creepy goth girl, the pretty boy is not gonna like you unless you put on makeup and
Oh,
your
that
hair.
was so creepy.
And braid your hair.
get and
Or
make
put
yourself
barrettes in your hair.
and
Is that what she
make
did?
yourself look all pretty for the wrestler boy. That's the only way you're
For the
gonna be
jock.
happy if you
Sure.
but also the girls always go
Oh,
for the
taped his
bad
butt
guy.
cheeks together. That's what it was.
Yep, taped
So
his butt
that
cheeks together.
skin and
Mm.
hair came off when they ripped it off.
Yeah, that's brutal.
His butt.
That's more than
Yeah.
detention, I think.
These
Yeah.
days it would be more than.
Oh no, this days, yeah, it would be
What
one
would
of
it be
those
now?
Counseling and
I think you would be
kinds
kicked
of
out.
stuff.
Hopefully.
No. And the nerd, and then they
Sent to
made the nerd
Venezuela.
write
Flare
the
gun would
essay.
also get you hopefully suspended permanently.
Well,
Yeah.
if you remember the rest of the story, the sad part was he brought it to kill himself at school.
Oh, that's right. I gotta watch that movie again. I've
It's
forgotten it.
been a while.
It's been a while.
And I
It's
watched that movie on tape a lot too, and I don't remember that outtake stuff. And I had rented it a lot when I was a kid.
I have
I just
it.
remember
I
it was
have
it was some weird, whatever special edition thing of it. I don't remember what it was exactly, but the what was I'm trying to remember they had in that movie. Oh, when Bender's escaping by crawling up into the rafters and he's trying to escape or whatever, and he's telling that story. Naked lady walks in with a 4-foot salami under one hand, and the whole 9 yards.
Mhm.
Everybody's like, "What's the punchline of the joke?" And and he said that I can't think of the director's name right now, but
John Hughes.
John Hughes. John Hughes just said, just make up the beginning of a joke. There doesn't have to be a punchline. There's no punchline to the joke. He just made it up, and it's just like, so he's just, but it wasn't a real joke. There's never been a punchline to it ever.
Have you ever seen the
Crews
documentary?
fall out of things all the time, sir. The
Yeah,
world's a perfect place.
The world's in a perfect place. What we say,
It's so
Matthew?
great.
Did you ever see that documentary, Don't You Forget About Me?
What about it?
It's excellent. It's all about John Hughes and the John Hughes
Oh.
effect in all his movies
No.
and everything. It was by these maybe NYU film students. That was their thesis project that they did, and they ended up sending a screener copy to John Hughes. And at the very end of the movie, they let you know if he's actually replied to them or not. It's really very
Okay.
good, very good documentary.
Oh, cool.
I highly recommend it.
What's it called?
Don't You Forget About Me.
Don't
Mm.
you forget
That.
That was not supposed to be the song, I think.
Oh no?
Yeah, there was supposed to be another song.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was, but I just know there was a different song that was going to be in that position. I do not remember. Kabuki Kid would know.
At my
She's like the
D&D
second
game
brain.
tonight, somebody asked, "You guys know Carol Burnett, right?" And we're all like, "Oh yeah." And
Yeah.
it's like, we're so old.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Dude, I watched the Carol Burnett show almost every day, and then what was the
Tim
other guy? Tim Conway.
Oh my God,
Tim
such
Conway
a
was the
good show.
best.
So
Harvey
funny.
Korman, Tim Conway.
The Siamese elephants routine was just like the best.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever watch Dorf on Golf?
No.
Was that a real thing?
Yes.
It was a real
Yeah.
product. I thought it was a
Yes.
fake product.
No, it's real.
It was real.
It's real.
You didn't dream it.
Okay.
So in 2005, he had started to work on the sequel to The Breakfast Club. Died in 2009.
Doesn't need a sequel.
I mean,
Like
I
Train
still
Spotting-
say
there was a Train Spotting 2, and I might say that it was not necessary. I would say it's not necessary. It's awful.
Oh,
Like-
what movie did I just see that they're doing again?
What, remake or sequel?
Remake. Oh, hold on. Oh, fuck. No,
Everything.
keep
They're making
talking.
everything.
What the hell was it?
Nothing. There's nothing new anymore.
there's nothing. That's not true. But
I remember seeing it. I'm like, really? What the fuck was it?
Is it an 80s movie or 90s?
Oh, Naked Gun.
movie?
Naked Gun.
No,
Naked
no,
Gun.
it wasn't that.
Yeah, Naked Gun. Chad
With
Roberts.
Liam Neeson's
With-
in that.
yeah,
Yeah.
Liam Neeson. Yeah,
I mean, I'm gonna go see that.
Yeah, I'd watch
I
it.
don't know if I'm gonna go see it. I'm gonna obviously see it.
It'd be a different. I think it'd be just a different kind of vibe, but the same ideas.
Yeah.
Which you know,
A new light, a new world.
yeah. In it, well, yeah. Times have changed so much that yeah, the humor is very different. It's like when you watch an old comedy film. It's like it's funny to you, but not your kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, where do you find that
Because
funny?
you
It was
lived
The
it.
Running Man.
Oh,
No,
the remake of
Oh,
that?
yeah.
Really?
hmm
that'd be good.
Who plays
Yeah.
the Richard Dawson character?
Richard Dawson is
The host.
who is it? But Glenn Howerton, well, Glenn Powell, sorry,
Glenn
from
Powell.
Top Gun is Ben Richards.
Okay. Interesting.
Who was it?
have you ever read the book, the Running
Yeah.
Man book?
I feel like I did.
Josh Brolin
Oh,
Is-
I like
is-
Josh Brolin.
is Killian.
I mean, the person who played Thanos is perfect in my book.
Gillian, I'll be back. Only in a
Only-
rerun.
Only in a rerun.
2025.
So the way the novella ends, there's like basically there's the one really good bounty hunter chasing after him, and
The Ringer bounty hunter.
the ringer bounty hunter, and he's already survived longer
All the other people. Yeah.
than all the other people, and the whole reason he was doing it was because he was poor, and he willingly signed up for the thing, and because he was poor, and his kid was sick, and he was basically like, we don't have any medicine, I'm gonna go. And he thought he would just sign up for some of them where like, oh, you might get some sort of like an injury that's really horrific, but not death kind of thing, because like there's all kinds of. And then when he finds out that basically because of whatever, they're like we're qualifying for the really good games, the big games or whatever. And then he realizes that he gets to be a running man, which means that like every day that he stays alive, it's like $5,000, $10,000, whatever. So he's making tons of money. And if he can live like the 30 days, then he wins the grand prize of, a gajillion dollars or whatever it is. But at one point he calls Killian and he's like, so, it's like, and they're arguing over the phone or something. I don't know. And then he lets him know. He's like, hey, I feel like you should know. And he's like, what? And he's like, well, somehow people got your last name and they found out where your family lives, and they thought they already had the money, and basically somebody murdered his family. And then he's just like, he has nothing left to live for. And so his whole plan was he was going to get on this plane. And he said, because it's a future story, like he can stay in this plane forever. And if he's up above like nobody can get him there. But the other bounty hunter like gets on the plane somehow, and they have a fight. He kills the bounty hunter, but he's dying. He knows he's dying because he's been shot or whatever. And so he calls Killian on the phone or whatever in this space age plane, and he's just like, um, he's like, it's like, can I tell you who gets my money after I die? And he's like, yeah, sure. And so there was some woman that helped him. He said she gets all the money, and he's like, okay, I'll make it happen. And he's like, by the way, turn around. And then he turns around and he's flying the plane right at like the skyscraper that he's sitting in. And the guy even says at the last, like right before he died, he saw whatever Ben Richards, he was giving him the finger. In the cockpit, he could see he was flying right at him.
I've only read that once and I don't
I
remember
wonder if they'll
any
go
of
back
that.
to the original story then.
Probably because I'm looking and it's Stephen King is one of the writers as well as Edgar Wright. So I presume that it is probably a bit more.
Oh, so it's Stephen King is credited on
And I
the.
Yeah.
can't see Josh Brolin as this like glitz and glam or TV host.
I could see him being a very
I could-
matter of fact, cold as ice producer though.
Sure.
So,
I mean, he
Or
played
maybe he'll
Thanos.
just be Thanos,
Yeah, he could
and
be-
then just be like,
no, he's done some lighter characters before. I've seen him in some films and he's been kind of like bubbly, kind of, gay-esque.
he'll be that scary kind of where
Sinister.
where he's all evil behind the scenes, and then all of a sudden I'm
Yeah.
on stage
Maybe.
and he's totally flamboyant and whatever, and be real creepy
Two-faced.
that way.
oh yeah, I could see that totally, Nikki. Where
Yeah.
where he's super friendly and he's like, oh yeah, absolutely, we'll make that happen for you. And then as soon as the camera's off, he's like, listen, you little, just like,
Yep.
just switches. Does anybody here read Neil Stevenson books? I mean, like
I read Snow Crash.
yeah, Snow Crash was the one that put him on
read a
the
bunch.
map.
What's
And
a
then
book?
Nikki's read them.
I've read a bunch.
So, I have read a bunch too. Nikki, track down. It's a book that came out just in the last few months. The Man Who Saw Seconds. Somebody said it reminds me of young Neil Stevenson, and I was like,
Oh,
cool. And it's the first guy, as far as I know, it's the guy's
Not
first
Neil
book.
Stevens. No.
It's not Neil Stevenson. I can't remember his name, but just The Man Who Saw Seconds. I can't. It is so much like reading a Stevenson book, like entire chapters of two people just
Really?
discussing philosophy about things, kind of going back and forth. And that's like the entire chapter of two people. Well, ultimately, the whole story of the book, and it's pretty violent. So if you don't want to read about a violent book, then I'm going to suggest not reading it. But he, it was. It's a guy that, and they don't really they dive into it later on, but at the beginning they don't really explain it. It's a guy who can see about 5 seconds into the future. Like he just knows what's going to happen 5 seconds in the future. And it starts him off in the subway, and he's sitting there and like at 3 o'clock in the morning taking a subway home, and two cops decide to mess with him just because they're bored. And they basically and so he's tired and he's grouchy and he knows he should just say, I'm sorry, I apologize. But then the cops start, messing with him a little bit. And then he starts mouthing off. And then he basically, these cops decide, okay, well, we're going to beat the piss out of you because nobody's going to say anything about it. And then, of course, he didn't want to let them do it. And he conceded to stop that. And then, basically a gunfight happens, and then his whole life just spirals out of control.
okay.
And the government figures out that this guy exists and he has this power, and so all of a sudden it's crazy, and it's only about like 310 pages, so it's like if you're a fast reader, it's something you can get done with pretty quickly, but it is so good. It is from the very beginning to like the whole thing.
Okay.
I will tell anybody, pick it up. The Man Who Saw Seconds. And like I said, and along the way, they talk about all kinds of stuff. As far as like just it's very much philosophical about how governments exist and how governments are propped up. And reading it now, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like so much, like it's so prescient because it's kind of just talking about, it's like
Well, wait, what word was that?
Prescient.
Prescient? What's that mean?
Just it's very of
Impressionable.
our time right now. Like it's something that's going on. Like you know how um you
That's
have you have like
PR
P
Presh.
Prescient, prescient.
Prescient.
And it's so it's like it's one of those things where they talk about like basically like the president of the United States is like telling people it's like you need to stand down, and he's like, with all due respect, you don't have any power, you can't tell me to do that. It's like, what are you going to do? You're going to have a court stop me? It's like, it feel like that people have their own, and it's like it's about they're like there's a whole giant thing going on between the people that work for the president and like people that are supposed to work for the president that are in like the National Security Agency, and they're like, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know how important this is. And he's like, but I'm ordering you. I'm the president. He's like, whatever. What are you gonna do about it? Just like it's yeah. So it's anyway. I want to do a video about it and talk about how cool it is, and I'll maybe if I have some time tomorrow, I'll blather on about it. But hey, Forrest, how's it going?
Good. Just got done game night.
What'd you play?
He played something I never played before. Luckily, Rodney had to play a video for Theseus, the Dark Orbit.
Theseus, yes.
Theseus.
That's an underrated game, I think. I liked it.
We played it 3 players twice. 3 players. It's I don't think it's a sweet
Didn't
spot.
work.
It was fun, but it felt I want it to last longer. I think that's my biggest issue. I did like the system a lot, and I think I'm gonna like it a lot more 2 players. Which is what I was reading on BGG, that like it's an abstract strategy-esque game where once you have that 3rd player, you lose a lot of control.
Sure.
But I enjoyed it so much that I would like to get the 2 bit expansions for it eventually. And then Fast and Furious Highway Heist, which we played like a year or 2 back, and we enjoyed it, and we got it to the table again tonight. And if you haven't played it, it's really cool, and it's essentially you are on one of 3 different scenarios, and you have your cars on this board, and there's helicopters, and there's trucks. You got all these 3D components that are cool, and you have to try and do stunts to destroy the tank. Or it's
Not into Fast and the Furious, but that game was really fun.
Yes, and Prospero Hall once again did a really good job with this one. I'm keeping both these games, I believe, on my shelf. I enjoyed them a lot.
Have you played Thunder Road?
Thunder Road? No, I have not. I have not played that yet.
Yeah,
you got to get that one.
good.
It's the best of that genre. Like, it's so good.
It's a lot.
Holy cow! I did a video for. I thought it was like Theseus. I know that game, and I was like, I did a video for that 11 years ago.
Mhm.
Did you guys see the post from Ignacy saying he's not going to ship to America anymore?
Yeah, I did.
You didn't see it, Matt?
I did not.
You're muted.
The Portal?
Yeah.
I saw somebody mention something about Ignacy, but I didn't know what the thing was.
I'm not overstating that, right? I'm pretty sure that's what he said. Or am I
Is that
wrong?
huge? Like, is that like a lot of games?
Yeah. I mean, Robinson Crusoe, he does a lot of big games.
Okay.
Yeah.
His
51st State.
51st State's great.
The one that I just
So
saw.
what's that last one you said?
51st State.
Great game.
That's kind of funny.
No pun intended.
It's a game about Canada? What?
Greenland, man.
We'll get you eventually, just so you know.
Yeah.
Does anybody have his exact words? Because I don't want to misconstrue it.
He said, "Fuck America." Yeah, fuck America, God.
We'll get you,
pal.
You can only hide for so long.
True.
We know exactly where you are.
How many other companies are going to do the same? Like Horrible Guild, maybe. That just came to the top of my head. But how many out of Lucky Duck are they going to stop distributing in America as well in the future?
I don't know. But we got lots of people here, so why don't we play initials? Nikki can play initials.
Oh,
I don't know. Have I
Oh,
played?
he's not going to gathering either.
Well, anyway, I can't find
No,
the
he's
post.
not.
I want to make sure that
yeah.
So
hopefully I'm
Berkey-
not stating what he said. For some reason, I thought I saw it.
Berkey's not going to the UK Expo this year because of
Oh,
the
bummer.
price has just gone.
He's the
All right.
Howard Hughes of board games.
He is. He's got long fingernails and collects his own urine.
Shoe boxes, Kleenex boxes for shoes.
Oh,
He's
Is
not
that what
coming to the
that what
gathering.
get in, Smithers. That's a model. I said get in.
Release the hounds.
All right. The initials are
R?
no.
He's not going to
are-
the gathering. It's not, by the way, Ixnay on my portal thing. I thought he said he wasn't going to publish games anymore. He's not coming to the gathering. That's completely different.
Yeah.
Wow,
Okay.
those are two massively
That's
different
Why
things.
did-
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why I put that in my head of the
Why
as something.
did you do that?
God, I feel like
Because
I've
you
read
told
something.
us that.
You're predicting the future.
I knew he wasn't coming to the gathering, but I thought there was something else where he wasn't coming.
Yeah,
I'm
Barry said
super
horrible.
excited. I'm super excited to play in the cribbage tournament.
Oh, really? Do you have
Yeah.
a partner?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
Bree Goldman.
Okay.
I don't
Hey,
even know. I
Forrest,
think
you wanna make a wager on the Timberwolves Lakers series coming up?
Oh, we're winning that one. That's for sure.
Well, if
I
you're
think
so
you might be
sure, why
gone
don't
by
you
the
put
time it
why don't you put a
happens,
little
Scott.
cheddar where your mouth is?
I'm about to put a beer on it. Beer you're choosing at a convention. Anything you want.
Well, please, not so.
Or well, yeah, I want a beer. Well,
Fine. A beer,
Let's talk
an
about it
adult
after initials.
beverage, an adult beverage of our choice.
That's fine. Yeah, there we go.
That you can't, but you can't go in and say, I would like a Puto Polignon 1498.
I'd like a
Yeah,
Dom
we got it.
Perignon 1642, fresh from France.
I'll get a Long
Tex-
Island and an old fashioned.
Did you
So it's
see-
an old fashioned, right?
Did you see how much the prices for Coachella food and beverage were?
No.
No.
Oh,
Is it
fucking
like
bottle
$20
of
for a
like
bottle of water?
a regular bottle of crappy ass Dom was like $1,500.
Nice.
It's
What does the water cost
What's
though?
water?
$6 for a bottle of water.
That's still high.
That's high.
Go
So
to the
Forrest, I just want to know, what are you always doing when you're moving stuff around in your basement?
He's got disco lights on. He's dancing. What do you think?
I'm always trying to reshuffle, try and fit more games into tighter spots. Like, I was actually pretty pissed off. We liked Theseus because I was hoping to get it off my shelf because I never played it, and now I got to keep it because it's fun.
You should get those library shelves that you can like you can like use the little wheel to rotate to get them closer
Yeah.
and further apart. The archival shelves.
There you go.
Yeah.
That would be sick.
All right, here we go. The initials for tonight's initials game are L,
Forgot.
as in Lance, and B, as in Barry.
That's 3 letters. RLB.
Explain how to play for Nikki. 'Cause she
So,
doesn't know.
Nikki, I am going to read off 6 clues for 15 different items that will be people, places, things, sayings, whatever. They will be 2 words, and they will have the initials L as in Lance, B as in Barry.
Okay. That's
L-
the answer.
LB.
And so they have to be like if an answer was Lance Berry, it can't be Barry Lance. It'll be Lance Berry. You know, it'll be whatever L is, you know, and then followed by. So I usually give everybody about 30 seconds to like think about
You can write down.
things that have those initials. And then the clues start off pretty vague and then they zero in slowly but surely. So here we go. Item number 1, clue number 1. This was famously sung by Jack Jones.
Oh, that guy.
Clue number 2. This featured Betty White, Gene Kelly, and Hulk Hogan.
I think I'm out.
No, you just if you know you know it, you'll say your name.
Oh yeah, you say your name
The
to
buzz,
ring
you
in.
buzz
You
in.
say you'll
Forrest
say.
just rang in.
Oh, Forrest, go.
Love Boat.
The Love
Oh
Boat,
my
sung
God.
by Jack Jones.
How did you get that?
Like, no kidding.
Hulk Hogan was on the Love Boat. I didn't remember that
Oh,
from when I was a kid, so I took a stab.
you stabbed well.
Yeah. For the longest time, I thought that Ted Lang, the other actor's name Ted Lang, was Ted Lance because the way the G was on there. I was like, that guy's got my name. And then I saw it was Ted Lang, and I was sad. Here we go.
I think it's Ted Lange.
That
No,
Right.
really.
Matthew, you're out for item number
Yeah,
two.
I'm sick of your shit, man.
No, I'm not kidding.
Did you push your glasses up on your nose? By the way.
I
Well,
think it's
somebody has
Ted.
to speak for KK.
Oh, I think it has to be Ted Longe.
Yeah, that too. All right, here we go. Item number two, clue number one.
Meowed.
Was on the jury of the damned in The Simpsons. Item number two, highlighted in folk poetry. Oh, a little TNG hoodie. Awesome.
Oh,
Clue number three, connected to Fall River, Massachusetts. Clue number four, was born on July 19th, 1860. Clue number five, famously acquitted in 1893. Final clue, even though it was acquitted, probably murdered her father and stepmother
Matt,
with her
Aldi.
axe. Aldi.
there you go.
No, we'll go to the tape.
No,
'cause
no, Matt. Is it Matt? I don't know.
I
I'm
don't
sorry.
know. We should probably go to the tape, but whatever.
It sounded very, very
It
close.
was pretty close.
Immediately, I'm like, oh yeah. Last clue.
Sounds like Matt to me.
All right, Matt, you're up.
Lizzie Borden.
Lizzie Borden.
40
is
wax.
correct. Yeah, they gave her father
Probably should've got
44.
Rookie says Matt as
It
well.
was so funny, Aldi. Like you said this before, Aldi, but it was like a good second before you said something.
Oh.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that to argue. I'm just saying like now I understand when you say it.
Mhm, 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 mhm. All right.
There's some lag.
What's that?
Number one for item number three. Appeared in the 1985 CBS movie Stone Pillow.
Phone pillow.
good one.
Oh, that one. What year was that?
Gem.
What year was that?
85.
85, baby. 85. I was
when we were stuck at home and couldn't go anywhere because we were too young to do anything.
I was 12.
I was 14.
I was 14.
I wasn't born.
Bragger.
Bragger.
You still haven't been born.
Yeah. Clue number two. Connected to Diane Belmont.
I'm just going to sit and look pretty.
You're not a big fan of Diane Belmont?
I'm not a fan of big American
Matt?
culture.
Go for it.
Linda Blair.
Ooh. Thanks for the clue.
You're welcome. Where's Ivan when you need him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clue number three.
Doesn't like pea soup. Oh, Linda Blair.
Like...
Clue number three. Connected to grapes.
Wraiths.
Grapes.
Oh, rapes.
Grapes.
Do you guys know who Don Cherry is?
The
Jesus
name
Christ.
rings a
Are we
bell.
playing a game or are we playing? Matthew, you're out, Matthew. You can't talk anymore.
His
I've got a
nickname-
grievance. I've got a grievance.
I'll cut you, bitch.
Clue number- Oh, my mama's dead. Now I get it cuts you. Them's the rules. All right, clue number four. Died in 1989.
And
Clue number five. was the first woman to ever run a major studio?
The spider.
Final clue. Legendary sitcom star known for her iconic 1950s CBS show.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Forrest.
Forrest.
Lucille Ball.
Oh, yeah.
Lucille Ball.
Did not get there.
Is correct.
I love
Is-
Lucy. God.
Diane Belmont was her stage name in on Broadway
Let's
first.
take a risk. Take a stab at it.
Yeah, there you go. All right, here we go. Clue number one. Debuted in 1994. Clue number two. Connected to Woodstock.
Forrest.
Go for it.
Limp Biscuit.
Limp Biscuit
Wow.
is correct.
Forrest is just burning it up tonight.
Limp Biscuit, man.
That's where they tore the place apart after that show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a crazy fucking documentary too.
So, basically, I mean, they got popular because of any number of reasons, but the big reason
Alec.
is when they covered Faith by George Michael, they got around. They were trying to get radio stations to play it, and on the West Coast grunge and metal stations, they bought 1 minute ad times where it was like where they played like the first like 30 seconds of the song, and they said, it's like, pick up Limp Bizkit's debut album with their hit song Faith or whatever, and then they played it in the background. So basically they got their song played on the radio a ton by just having it like
Through
that.
the ad.
Yeah, through the ad. So
Clever.
clear one.
Yeah, clever, not talented.
Was released July 13th, 2001.
Forrest.
Go for it.
Larry Brown.
And
Damn. I wanted it. I wanted the glory.
clue number two. Featured Bruiser.
I like that
Clue number
name.
three. Was based on an Amanda Brown novel.
Matt,
Matthew
Legally Blonde.
is correct. Well done.
Bruiser was the dog.
Bruiser was the Chihuahua. When my child's high school put on Legally Blonde the musical, they had a Chihuahua. They had like a live Chihuahua. They just hung out. They carried it around all the time. Somebody had like a very well behaved Chihuahua, and he or she got to be in the musical.
Dun, 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 dun.
Here we go. Clue number one. Connected to the number 95 in a 2006 film. Number two. Connected to Mortal Kombat's Raiden.
Forrest.
Forrest.
Laura Bush.
No. At
Aldi,
Aldi.
Lightning Bolt.
Lightning Bolt is correct. Well done.
Whew.
Connected to Pikachu.
Here I am trying to figure out Christopher Lambert.
Christopher Lambert. Jeez.
Is that who played
I
Raiden?
think it's pronounced Christopher Lambert. See how that feels? See how that feels, Matthew? And somebody's trying to correct the way
What was
you
the
talk?
first one? The 95?
That's Lightning McQueen. He's
Never saw Cars.
I never saw
Yeah.
it.
What?
Yeah.
Connected to 95.
You see it?
Have you ever you ever seen the movie Doc Hollywood with Michael J. Fox?
Yeah.
Then you've seen Cars.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Really?
true.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you think about it, it's the exact same guy. Car breaks down as it's going across country to its big thing.
That's
Ends
what
up in
it
a
is.
small little town. Wants to escape. Learns to love being there, and
Michael
learns.
J. Fox and Julie, what's her name?
Yeah,
I never saw it.
yeah. But yeah, Doc Hollywood. Basically, same.
James Woods was in that, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yes.
And the whole town's like, "Oh, you're gonna be great as our town doctor." He's like, "I'm not gonna be your town doctor." Yeah, just good little
So was he headed to Hollywood?
He was headed to Hollywood to be a
plastic surgeon.
plastic surgeon. So
Yep.
Don't know why I was thinking of Hot Fuzz. Same kind of thing.
Woody Harrelson was that.
He's got there's a moment
kinda,
where
yes.
no, guy can't pay for his medical bill or whatever, so he gives him his prize pig. And he says, "I don't want a pig." He's like, "No, I know, but this is my prize pig. And this so you know I'm gonna pay you." And so he's walking around town with the pig, and people are like, "That's a nice pig you got there, Doc." And he's like, "That's what they tell me." Anyway. Oh, Doc Hollywood wasn't that horrible. It was just it was a boring, it was just a movie. It was just a turn your
Mediocre.
brain off movie.
Mhm.
Twinkie kids trying to be all special. Anyway, clue number 1.
It was no secret to my success.
Oh my god.
Boom,
I was
boom,
thinking of
boom.
that.
What was that song?
What a weird movie that is when you
That
think
was a
about
weird
it.
movie.
If you think about it through the lens of now,
Yeah, it's so nothing.
it's a very weird movie.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Yeah, just you couldn't make that movie right now. It's just a different product
Okay.
for a different time. Clue number 1. This opened in 1973.
Not me.
Clue number 2. There has actually been more than one. Clue number 3. Connected to water.
Forrest,
Go for it.
London Bridge.
London Bridge. Holy cow.
Wow.
And you call yourself an Englishman, Barry. Just
I'm not even thinking. Don't worry. I'm just thinking, when can I go in and refill my coffee? Or should I just hang up and go on my morning stroll through the vineyard at 6 o'clock in the morning? Work on these abs.
all right. Clue number 1. Connected to Elizabeth Banks in 2008.
Barry,
Go for it.
Lizzie Banks.
Clue number 2. Connected to twins. Clue number 3. Connected to the number 43. Aldi.
Laura Bush.
Laura Bush is correct.
Mm.
Didn't Forrest guess Laura Bush at a
I did.
yeah.
I did.
That's called a thievery.
So there is a statement of Ignacy about his Kickstarter. He's not going to be normally shipping it to the US.
Well, I mean, that's what people got to
It
figure out
wasn't
what it is.
It wasn't everything. It was. I knew there was something he posted about on his blog. Anyway,
I mean, we'll talk about it here in a little bit. But
yeah. Sorry,
clue
there was
number
something
1.
nagging at me. Like I felt like I knew something was wrong.
Yeah. You got it. Clue number 1. In a weird sense, this debuted in the 1940s. Clue number 2. This is almost always found indoors.
Barry,
Go for it, Barry.
log burner.
Eh.
Yes.
Clue number 3. Connected to waste.
Log burner.
Huh. Clue number 4.
Matt,
Matthew.
litter box.
Litter box is correct.
Oh,
Well
nice.
done. Well
Pretty.
done. Well done. All right, just as a heads up, we do have 5 left. Technically,
Yay!
everybody is still in it. Forrest 4, Matthew 3, Aldi 2, Barry, Nikki. I believe in both of you. I think you'll do
Okay.
amazing.
Now it's
I'm on
time
board.
for a commercial break. Welcome to Game Toppers.
I got a commercial
Grade
break
your
after
gaming
this, too.
experience.
Here we go. Clue number 1,
And now we're back.
and now we're back.
In three,
Clue
two, one.
number 1. This was commonly part of weddings.
Barry,
Go for it.
loose balls.
Eh. Clue number 2. This debuted in 1958. Clue number 3. Connected to Donna. Clue number 4. Was seen in theaters
Matt.
in Matthew.
La Bamba.
La Bamba is correct. Barry, you hummed the song. You
I
hummed
know.
the
think
I was
Matt
humming the
no,
song.
Matt was humming it.
Oh, Matthew was singing the song.
My
La
head was
Boca.
somewhere else.
Okay.
Bunker.
I had it like I had it at Donna, but I'm just wanting to hear one
Yeah.
more clue.
Oh, I thought that was Barry humming the song. I apologize. So my dad, that when he when Richie Valens was killed with
Buddy Holly.
Buddy Holly and the Big Bopper on the plane or whatever, that plane was heading to Fargo, North Dakota, and for a concert that was being held in Moorhead, and my father and my mom were dating at the time, and they had tickets to go see it. They were
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah,
So-
and that plane had spare parts from James Dean's car. No, I'm just making that up.
That's
Sorry, watched Supernatural recently, and it's like, yeah.
All right, here we go. Clue number 1. Appeared in 2006's The Prestige.
Ooh, ooh.
Clue number 2. Connected to a member of the Addams family. Clue number 3. Connected to ideas.
Aldi.
Aldi.
Light bulb.
Light bulb is correct. Light bulb.
What's the Addams Family reference there?
Fester would put one in his mouth and
Oh,
it would light
yeah.
up.
Because I was thinking Lurch Butler.
What was the first clue again?
It appeared in the 2006's The Prestige.
I thought
Yeah.
Lance was going to be sneaky and it wouldn't be like the Adams with 2 D's family, like some other Adams family.
I sometimes try to be sneaky, but I try not to be too bad.
Yeah, I was thinking David Bowie. No, that's not it. I was thinking,
Michael Caine, David Bowie.
Yeah.
I gotta watch The Prestige again. That's a good movie,
So good.
Yeah, I've only seen it once. I should see it again.
and it's so
It's got a little bit
um,
more to it when you see it the second time.
Yeah, when you kind of know everything that's going on, and then you realize like some of the higher level stuff that's going on, you're like, and you're watching, you're like, oh my gosh, like yeah, good little flick.
Good second
little
watch.
flick. All right, clue number 1. Was seen golfing in a 1996 film.
Donald Trump. No, sorry.
What you? Famously wore green.
No.
Number 3. Has
Aldi.
appeared Aldi.
Larry Bird.
Larry Bird.
Ah,
Well
yeah.
done. done. Well
Thank you,
done.
thank you.
Larry Legend.
Three-way
Damn it.
tie.
Holy cow! Yeah, it is. It's a three-way tie. So,
Holy
Barry,
cow.
Barry, you and Nikki can play spoiler. But right now it's three-way tie with
Yay.
two left. Two left.
We can play Kingmaker.
Okay. I hate being kingmaker.
All right, here we go. Clue number 1. Connected to high school senior Christine McPherson. Number 2. Her first name was Claudia.
Her name is Noelle.
What?
I had a dream about her.
Okay, I'll just.
Morning voice. It's not very good morning voice for singing.
Oh, well, let me know when it's anyway.
Okay. La 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 la. There you go. It's ready.
Clue,
Her
Clue number
name
3.
is Noelle.
Clue number 3.
Gone.
Had a prominent role from 1963 to 1969.
Mm.
Clue number 4. Was nominated for Best Picture at the Academy Awards. Number 5. Greta Gerwig directed this 2017 film.
Aldi.
Go for it.
Ladybird.
Lady Bird is correct. Final clue is the wife of Lyndon B. Johnson.
Who?
It's a good movie. If you haven't watched Larry Bird,
I've
Lady
not seen
Bird.
that one.
See, another
never watched
American
Lady Bird
bias
either.
fucking answer.
Yeah, it was pretty biased.
Why is that biased? It
It's
was
very
a movie.
American.
Americanized answer.
It's a pretty American.
Barry and I were like in the
Most of them are.
at a lot
That's why I
there.
don't play.
Hmm.
American football, baseball, bloody politics, bloody American cinema or TV
You just got to
shows that
move.
I've
You
never
just got to move here and
reached this
become
side.
ingrained in the culture.
No, you've got to move here. Yeah, it's cheaper here. Board games.
I heard. I heard.
I'll think about it. No, go watch Lady Bird. It's a very good movie. And it's worth a watch. But anyway, I was surprised. It's not my normal fare, whatever. But
It's got that. What's her name? Sorias. Can't remember. I don't know how to pronounce
Saoirse
her.
Ronan.
What was
yeah,
it?
I don't know how you pronounce that name.
Saoirse.
Saoirse.
Saoirse?
I
No,
don't know.
I'm sorry. It's pronounced. It looks like Saurus.
Seriosa.
Stay-o-I-R-S-A.
It's Saoirse.
Samosa.
It's easier to pronounce.
I've heard it both ways.
Her name is Noelle, and I had a dream about her. She rings
Oh,
my bell.
Barry, I've got 2 tickets for Iron Maiden.
I've got
There
2 tickets for Paradise.
And I'm a teenage Burt
Maybe.
All right,
British.
Aldi with 5, Forrest with 4.
The drummer
Forrest,
just retired.
Forrest now has to. He can only tie. He started. He sprang out of the gate, and now he's
He's
There we
just
go.
a cardboard stand-in.
If Aldi, Barry, or Nikki get the last one, Aldi wins. Otherwise,
Linda
we are-
Blair. Naboka.
Clue number 1. Appeared in a 2015 Hugh Jackman film. Number 2. Debuted in a 1904 play. Number 3. Released July 31st, 1987.
For the place.
Number 4. Connected to Robin Williams. Number 5. Connected to vampires. Final clue. These young children do not
Barry.
age. Barry.
Lost Boys.
Lost
Oh.
Boys is
Wow.
correct.
Vampires. That's what did it.
Aldi backs up into the wind.
I know. Thanks, Barry. Bailed me out.
No Kiefer Sutherland. No Corey
I
Feldman.
know. I got.
Yeah.
I had
Those would, that would give it
Robin
away.
Williams, Lost Boys.
They would
Yeah,
give
yeah.
it away. You gotta,
Yep.
Okay.
Lost Boys.
Great movie.
There's a
Jackman.
movie that needed
We were talking about. There was people in the chat were talking about Lost Boys earlier.
Yeah,
It was talk of a remake as well.
there is talk of a remake.
I would take a remake of Lost Boys. I love Lost Boys.
Oh, Lost Boys is a great
So
movie.
good.
I think it's lost some of its edge. Like Gremlins, it's lost some of its edge. We watched that.
Has
yesterday.
it? It probably has.
It's a little
I'm sure.
corny now.
Yeah,
I
it's a little disjointed, a little.
So good though
Mm.
for its time.
What a great ending! Great ending.
GG.
One thing I always hated about this town. All the
damn
goddamn vampires.
Damn vampires.
I mean, just like Dad, are you okay, Dad? And you're always like, why does he have all those giant stakes on the front of his front of his truck? It was like one of those things where you're like, why is that the case? Why is that there? And then yeah, fabulous ending. I mean, and it was one of those things where it's like, and then Clue, Echo, and the Bunnymen do people astray.
Good movie. I want to watch it again and see if it holds up. It doesn't hold up.
It's a product of the 80s.
Yeah, it's kind of.
Yeah, but we have an affinity for that.
It's like a pop song. It's like I still believe. It's just why?
Is that the whole?
Oh, the guy with the sax
Yeah.
guy, where he's
Did he die recently?
just blowing hard on the beach, in the flames.
Fire,
Yeah,
right?
the flames of the fire. Such a good scene.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was just nothing like it at the time, and it kind of
Jamie
stood out.
Jamie Gertz, right?
Mm.
Jamie Gertz, yeah. From Square Pegs.
Square Pegs, Jamie Gertz. The
Corey
Coreys,
Feldman, Corey
Haim.
Corey Haim, Corey
Haim.
Feldman,
Jason
Diane Wiest.
Diane Wiest,
Jason Patrick.
Kiefer Sutherland,
Kiefer Sutherland.
Jason Patrick. Oh my god.
Alex.
Oh yeah, the guy from Bill and Ted.
Yeah.
Not Keanu.
Winters.
Alex Winters.
Oh, Billy. Fuck, what's his name? Billy something or other.
Oh, the grandfather.
Billy Worth, I think his name is.
I think the only thing I came away with is like a catchphrase for a little while for me after watching that film was "Death by stereo." That was it.
I still think the best vampire death on film is Paul Rubens in Buffy.
Yeah,
I never
Where
saw.
He's like,
Oh yeah.
It's just kind of goes on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
It was super funny.
Mm.
I didn't see Buffy movie for a long time, like well past its. Just was not into that
With Donald Sutherland.
Buffy thing.
Yeah, that was my vampire days when I watched Salem's Lot, Lost Boys, Interview with a Vampire, and then they were screening all the Hammer horror films. Curse of
Night?
Dracula.
Oh, those are beautiful though. The lighting on those. Oh man.
Buffy the movie is not skippable, KK.
One of the things like the Buffy movie that I love about that came after the Buffy movie is the fact one of my favorite TV shows of all time, Psych.
Oh, dude, I've heard it both ways. That's where you got it from.
Yeah, that's it. Oh yeah, the Psych. I've heard it both ways.
I used that the other day in my D&D game.
But no, the fact that they do a whole vampire and like everything about vampire, they honor like all kinds of different vampire things, and they do a vampire episode, and the antagonist female in that is Christy Swanson. They have her come in and play the person that everybody thinks is a vampire.
That is such an underrated show.
Psych is amazing.
It's There's a pineapple in every episode.
Mm-hmm.
Literally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of like
Because the
the
pilot,
Superman thing for Seinfeld.
yeah, in the pilot, they had this gag where it was like, oh, we're going on a road trip. Should I grab a snack? And he grabs a pineapple out of the fridge, like they're gonna eat a raw like a full pineapple. And ever since then, they're like, let's make sure we put a pineapple. And it isn't always just a pineapple, it'll be like just maybe a picture of a pineapple, or it isn't necessarily like actual fruit. At one point, there's a doorbell they ring that's shaped like a pineapple for some reason. It's like ding dong. Yeah, I mean, it's just stuff like that.
Yeah.
Good little show. Good little show. Solid show.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh, look at Kabuki Kid. Yeah, psych is fun. A friend of mine guest starred on some episodes, so that's why I'm cool. Just because my friend was on the show.
No, Kabuki, you were cool before they were.
Oh, get over yourself, Kabuki.
Yeah.
Um. Uh.
Talking, you say that. Talking of reoccurring fruit in a show, there's I don't know if you've seen it. You don't have kids, but there's a kids cartoon. I presume it's kind of French Canadian called Oscar and Monica. Always late for school. I'm just translating here. And in every episode, there is like the reoccurring characters as these kids go to school every day and they have an adventure, and that's why they're always late for school. And there was an episode in season 2 where this banana becomes the villain. And because they screen all these out of order, it wasn't until because in that episode he mentions that he's always there, and this banana becomes like a super mega boss at the end of the episode. And you actually go back and watch the other episodes, and he's right. There's this banana in the background of like this shot here and that shot there, and it's like, they were thinking about that. So it kind of like the pineapple thing.
Mm.
Hmm.
But as I said, it wasn't until season 2 that he actually became a character and then became like this big boss that they had to defeat. Yeah. But you don't understand any of that because it's.
No, I don't understand any of that. I don't want to understand any of it.
Why not?
I don't know. I'm just being annoying.
Okay.
Okay.
Did you guys already talk about the Kickstarter controversy?
No, I was kind of waiting for you so you
What
could tell me I can't
controversy?
talk about it,
Come on, then.
and because you don't want to say anything about it, and
I
you
don't
wanted
really want to say
poo-poo on
anything.
it.
I mean, I don't really want to say anything about it.
Well, I talked about it when nobody else was here, when
But
everybody
there
else
was
was, and I was talking to nobody,
company,
and I was just blathering about myself. So whatever.
Go Scott.
The company-
Go Scott. Fill us in.
the company called what is it called?
Frontiers.
Final Frontier Games.
Final Frontier Games.
Yeah.
Thank
Oh,
goodness
that's
you're
great.
talking about it since you're so up to date on it.
I can't remember the name of the game company, but they do that Merchant's Cove, which had a pretty big Kickstarter, 2 big Kickstarters. One was for the base game, and then that was before COVID, and then COVID hit, and they basically delivered during COVID. So, and they got screwed with the shipping on that.
So
And now they're getting screwed with
But
this.
they're basically now they're shutting down because they are out of business. They're technically bankrupt, but they have a pretty large unfulfilled campaign called it's the Merchant's Code expansion.
well, there's 3. There's the Coloma
there
expansion,
more?
and also
I wasn't sure about that.
there's 3 campaigns that they're not going to fulfill. No.
Yeah.
So here's my thoughts, and then I'll shut up and I'll listen to everybody else tell me what their thoughts are, and then we'll go from there. But so it's one of those things where if you go and read, they basically they cut a vein, and they said here's everything that went wrong. When Merchant's Cove was delivering in the height of COVID, instead of going back to their backers and saying we need more money, what they did was they paid for it themselves, which,
Yeah, they went into debt for it, I think.
well, I mean, who knows?
Or-
I don't have
Well, I
their
mean,
books.
I'm just saying. Well, they've admitted that.
Hmm.
They
I don't think
wrote
they
that.
did. They said that they paid for it themselves. I don't think they ever like opened up their books to show. I'm not gonna say
Okay,
anything.
whatever. We don't need to speculate.
Regardless, it cost them money. They didn't make any money off of a massive Kickstarter campaign that raised, whatever, 600 grand or 500 grand or whatever. They made no money off of it. Anything they would have made, it got spent. And then they've been chasing their tail ever since. I mean, that's the long, it's like, oh wow, we went into a massive hole off of this one campaign, and we then went and did more very successful Kickstarters, right? And then they ran into problems where, certain contracts weren't fulfilled, and I'm not going to even touch any of that because I don't know anything, and I'm not smart enough to know anything about anything that's going on. But ultimately, it's one of those things where, like, if you get your legs cut out from underneath you, and you try to climbing out of a hole is tough. And here's the deal. I think the the attitude of I I want to make sure that I treat whatever, like, when you go into this mentality of like, oh, our backers come first, right? Like, I want to make sure our backers, we don't want to go and ask them for more money. That's admirable, but you don't bankrupt your fucking company to do it. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, I mean, I feel for Boykin. I mean, like, he and there's a couple of times I sat down and talked to him a couple of times, and like, I shot him an email and I said, I don't know how I can help, but if there's something I can do to help. And he and I talked a little bit, and he went into everything with the best intentions. Everybody at Final Frontier went to the best intentions, and they just couldn't climb out of the hole. And it sucks. And if anybody's going to learn anything out of this, is that you can try to do the right thing, but you don't bury your company to do it. And unfortunately, that's what happened. And if
It's a tough
you know
situation though, because you're basically, I don't know, like you've got the money to pay a bill that you had, you know what I mean? Like it's one of those things where you've got the money and the cash flow might at some point work. You know what I'm saying? Like there, I
I
could see
mean,
how you could get into that. Keeping your money like very separated and distinct in these kinds of projects, I think is very tough.
well,
Unless
I
you're
mean,
running
and
like
that's
three
fine,
bank
and that's
accounts.
fine. And
Yeah,
I'm not, and I don't want to. I seriously don't want to be like, like trying to guess what their mentality was or anything like that.
sure.
But I do feel that when we realized that we had, like, when we were trying to get our stuff out of China, and during COVID and everything cost way more money. I mean, we came up with the little promo, and we had people pay us like, $15 for a dice promo.
Yeah.
A lot of companies went and just flat out said, um, we need more money, and then and ask for people for that. And they got it, right? I mean, they got that money. and
And there were some
um
companies that didn't. They took the hit.
and they took the hit. and and
Hmm.
and I again, I mean, which is better and which is worse, I don't know. I mean, I do think that if you could definitely, but here's the deal. Going to backers and saying, this sucks, and I'm sorry that I have to ask this, but I have to ask this. It sucks. It is a tough pill to swallow, because there are going to be people that are going to say, uh, I gave you my money and whatever. But I mean, especially during COVID, like, the world shut down. I mean, like,
Hmm.
the fucking world shut down. If your backers are going to be like, nope, not going to give you anything, then you just say, well, we'll deliver this when we can. And and it'll happen when it happens. And it isn't going to happen until the world comes back to it. And that's just the way you do it. I don't know. What do I again? What do I know? I just, you don't you can do what you can to try to make people happy, but for the most part, backers are usually pretty understanding. They're like,
I
I
mean, it's
understand.
it's a community project at that point. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
community that you bring together to make the project happen. They're probably not going to abandon you if dire circumstances arise.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know. This is the first time I've heard of this company like any negative from it. Like it always seemed like things were going fine, right? Like they never let on that there was problems. If that makes sense.
Hmm.
You know, like the first like all I remember hearing last week that was like Merchant Cove 2 or whatever it is, not Merchant Cove 2, but whatever the expansion's called. It's shipping next week. That's what I heard.
Hmm.
And then next
Yeah.
next thing you know, they're like, "Oh, we're out of business."
But who could have predicted what was going to happen at this time? I mean, they took the bite, they took it on the chin for COVID,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden there's another fucking car crash in front of them where they're trying to do their jobs, and it's like they're going to be late for work, or they're not going to be able to get to work.
Yeah.
So it's just
Knows.
unfortunate. They took it on the chin. They wanted to keep their reputation cool and good, and so people would come back for their next game. And unfortunately, something else come up and bit them on the ass. And unfortunately, that's life. It's a shame. And you wouldn't want to wish it on good people.
I mean, I appreciate the complete transparency that they
Oh,
put
yeah.
in their update. And people call, people definitely had a mentality of like, oh, they shouldn't have said some of the things they said when it comes time to pointing a finger at this, that, and the other thing of things that went poorly.
As I'm just looking at now.
And it's like, I don't know. I mean, that's up to each person to decide. I don't have any problem with that. I don't have any problem with transparency. I guess, I mean, it's I that doesn't mean what they said is 100% true. I think there's two sides to every story. And I mean, and absolutely, I believe that a lot of things that they said in that update came out of emotion, right? I mean, it's like my company is done. I'm bankrupt. I don't get to make these games anymore. I don't know how I'm going to provide for my family anymore. I had to fire all of my friends that I've worked with for the past decade over this. I'm fucking pissed. And maybe that's not the best mentality to be in when you're writing something where you're going to be saying something negative about other people. But uh I don't know. I don't know. I guess in a it's so tough. I mean, it's so tough. I mean, I don't know what I don't know. It's it's a crummy situation. I don't want other companies to go out of business. I don't want other people to lose their jobs. I don't want companies to have fingers pointed at them and saying, "Hey, you're the reason why, these people don't have any money, you fucking fucks." I don't want that to happen either. But I mean, I guess I understand why they posted what they did. And it's I don't know what the right thing to do is in that situation.
Scott, can I ask you a slightly different question?
Yeah.
Where are where are your posters being printed? Are they printed in the States?
Yeah.
Okay.
We print local.
Okay.
Oh
It's
man,
not it's not local. I think it's in Kansas actually.
Chris's fucking Arnak poster.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, so here's my ad. Can I put an ad on your show, Lance?
No, you can add anything.
Oh, well, yeah, so we're Board Game Geeks doing a Kickstarter right now. We're right in the middle of it. We're doing season 10, series 10 of the art prints for designer art prints. And they're 4 new prints. But you can also buy, not true, you can't buy all of them, but you can buy 36 of them if you want any of the old ones. There's 4 that you cannot buy. Takanoko, Blood Rage,
I'm looking. Dead of
a
Winter,
couple others. There's like 2. There was 4 at the bottom.
Mysterium,
Mysterium. There was
Dead of
probably
Winter,
what was the other one?
Dead of Winter.
Dead of Winter, Mysterium. Yeah, so those 4 you cannot buy, but all 36 other ones you can buy.
Backer.
Is that your plug?
That's my plug.
Okay.
Yeah, the art's fantastic. It's been 10 series of 4 prints. Really cool takes on all the board games you love.
They're gorgeous.
They're really cool pieces of art for your. They're high quality, archival quality paper, Giclée printing.
Prints.
Yeah, they're not like They're not
No,
posters.
they're really nice.
They're art prints.
So let me
they are a
say
higher
this.
price.
If you're listening to this right now, much like being a Board Game Geek member, and giving the $15 or $25, whatever it is, I forget what it is, for Board Game, it's mandatory. Go buy yourself a print. if you listen to the Alaboom,
Thanks, Lance.
it is absolutely mandatory.
Well, it's a good way to decorate your room.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got a
Or,
room that
or I'm sure
needs
you have a
decorating.
friend. I'm sure you have a friend who likes board games or something.
They're
You
good
can
gifts
reach out.
too.
It's I don't going to hawk for it. I mean, put your
Yeah.
house up on the market to get the money to do it. I mean, I don't care. So there you go.
It's
That's
something that I've wanted for so
oh,
long.
and trust me,
So
if you've already backed it, back it again.
Back early, back often.
I was
Yeah.
really pissed last year at Essen when it was like, oh, great, BGG are here. I can buy some shit. And then the first day there, my wife phones me and says, we've got some money issues, so don't spend too much
no.
money. And I was like,
because we had
fuck.
prints there. We had
all the
we
prints
had
there.
all the
Yeah, I
prints.
know. I had that in mind, and it's like, I'm gonna get like 6 or 7 prints, and then it's like I walk away with a beanie.
I have a meeting next
Very
week for
sad.
potential European work partnership, but we'll see if I can make it happen.
Yeah,
It's challenging for us because it's not our primary concern. You know, I mean, we do sell a lot of stuff domestically, right? But that whole next level of going to Europe is tough.
Hmm.
So
Go via Russia.
Uh,
yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
I'm
does
happy.
anybody have a grievance? Anything that's been
You have a grievance, Nikki?
Grievance. What is?
It's the airing of grievances. Yeah, it's part of the show. You watch the show? Do you even watch the show?
Very rare, but
I know you don't watch it. It's okay. You don't have to watch it. Yeah, we have grievances.
I should
No
have prepared
grievances?
something.
You've got to have
He's
something.
angry.
What do
I'm
you-
always angry, but I can't.
You got to
say
hold it inside. Okay.
It's inside. Yeah.
Private grievances. I feel like I probably have one, but I can't think of one.
I'll play off of other people's grievances. But
My grievance is my coffee cup is empty still.
well, go get some coffee.
I should have filled it up during
Should have
bloody
filled it up
initials.
during the game. Yeah.
Yeah.
I went to go pick up my son from school today, and that peckerhead was picking up their kid again, in the spot that like he threw me out of. You
It's a-
know,
Do you have like
so-
a weird parent?
It's a person in law enforcement that uses their authority to kick Lance out of his parking spot.
Okay.
yeah.
Barry, is it just 6:30 there now?
Yeah.
What the hell have you been doing up for like an hour and a bit? So
I've been listening to the tonatic atonal sounds of my water filter filtering all the water in the house.
why are you
Every
up so early?
my body, I'm old. Fuck's sake, I'm an old man, mate. You do weird shit when you're old, like pee at bloody 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, four
Well,
o'clock,
I
and then
drink
you
a
can't
lot
go
of
back to
tea, so
sleep.
I know that. But
Or you hear strange sounds coming from your wife's mouth that yeah, or you have this idea of maybe I could get in a few extra levels on bloody Baldur's Gate and maybe level up a bit here, and or you think, my God, what was that song I was listening to in my dream? I must record it. Oh shit, I've forgotten it.
fair
Or
enough.
I could go on.
Do you have
Backache.
like a little book on your nightstand for when you have these wonderful ideas in the middle of the night?
Uh, kind of doesn't work.
Okay.
Because you write in it and then you put it down and you go, "Oh, I'm going to go back to sleep," and then it's like, no, I can't sleep. You just expand. You know, it's like a fungi. It grows and grows at an exponential rate. Uh, so yeah, nothing works. I just got to get used to being old and being awakened by like a cramp in my foot or backache or snoring or children falling out of their bed onto their Lego crying, or you know that sound of the chickens screaming because one of them is bloody laid an egg at the wrong time of day, or there's thousand things that wake me up, and that's it. I'm awake. None of it's to do with coffee. Honestly, this is not my second cup or my third cup. Is it my third cup or was it 10th? Anyway.
I have a grievance. I got stood up for a meeting today.
That sucks.
They were in a presentation that ran long.
Yeah.
I'm like, if there was only this device that you had at the end of your arm that you could just let me know.
Oh, they let you just.
I sat there for
that on-
15 minutes.
Oh yeah, that's a bummer.
Like, come on. Like
Come on, man.
there was an excuse for that in like the fucking 90s, but
Yeah.
now there's
For
no
sure.
excuse for that whatsoever.
Yeah.
I digress.
Played a couple good games last week.
Yeah, what'd you play?
Well, I did talk about the Deep Regrets game last week, but the other game we played was Finspan. We did a lot of fishing. It was a fishing day.
Yeah, I saw your post about that.
Yeah, the Finspan's quite good. We enjoyed it. It's very similar to Wingspan, similar mechanics. You
What
have to-
makes it different?
So you're going
Fish.
down instead of across. You're going deep into the deep. And there are
Really?
eggs in the game. There are fish eggs, but only each fish can only have one egg. And the goal of the fish eggs, they're only worth a point in the game. But the goal, you want to really hatch the fish eggs into what they're called young. And then you want the young to swim together to form a school. And that's big points.
Okay.
So it's basically eggs, which are a resource to buy, to bring more fish into the world. To hatch into young, and then you swim the young to make schools, and that's where the big points are. So it's like so there's like a movement of part of the game instead of just the egg sitting on the birds, So it's cool. And there's like 3 levels, and so the really funky fish are at the bottom, and then there's some fish that can live at any depth, and there's some that can only live in certain ecosystems. And we really liked it. It's fun.
Was it manly?
No, it didn't feel like that. I mean, you're not not
Right.
like catching fish. It's more like you're creating a environment.
The
of
theory
fish.
is that they did a fish one to get guys
That
instead
works
of-
because I've spoken to someone who basically says I don't like wingspan at all, but I love finspan because he's a fish guy.
Okay.
The big fish can eat smaller fish, so you plop them on. So the only rule is it has to be larger. So if you have a 10 centimeter fish, you need at least an 11 centimeter.
There's always a bigger
There's always a bigger fish, Nikki.
Right.
I once caught a fish this big.
Fish big. So yeah, we liked it, and the art's great, presentation's good. It's a simple game. It's not hard. Everything's straightforward. It's pleasant. It's a good game. Fin Span. I recommend it. I've not played the Worm Span yet, though. I need to go back and play that. Sort of went through my hands, and I need to get to the table. The other game I played was called. I have no memory these days. Sorry. Give me 1 second. Aberration. It's a Kickstarter called Aberration. So it's a tower defense game. It's really cool, dark. You're in the dark and you're setting fires up so you can see the monsters as they come in. That's awesome.
Huh.
The monsters are very hard. It's a brutal game, but the rule book is rough. We had to really scour the rule book to make it work. Now the end game is really good. I've been playing a couple of these tower defense games that are just really awesome with what they do. So that I think we talked about it, the Fate Legend of Grimheim or
Yeah.
Defenders of Grimheim, and then this one's called
good.
Aberration. That's good.
That one's super fun.
Yeah, I think Hungry Gamer gave it one of his favorite games of the year. Aberration is also good, not as good as Fate, but it's good in its own right. Rulebook is just kind of needed another pass.
It's too bad.
Like even the setup, we were like, we didn't even know where, we had to infer it from basically the rest of the rulebook, which sucks.
Patience does a gamer have?
Well, we have a lot.
Just have-
Yeah, not. I
Or
mean, it's a
how
Kickstarter,
long
right?
are
So
you gonna give it before you just say forget it?
yeah, we were close on the setup. I'm like, let's just. I was thinking about it because there was another game I wanted to play, which so the third game, it's a quick one. Foxy, you guys heard of Foxy? No.
He's dressed now.
He's wearing a geek shirt.
He's not-
So I know you guys haven't heard of Foxy, right? But you're flipping over flashcards This sounds like not fun at all. You're trying to remember how many of that animal have appeared previously on the previous cards. So let's say I flip over a fish. Okay, there's one. How many fish have you seen? You say one. Well, then you flip over a fish and a octopus. How many fish have you seen and how many octopuses have you seen?
No.
Octopi. Then you go flip over another one. You flip over a pig. How many pig have you seen? Okay, one. Then you flip over a pig and a giraffe. How many pigs and giraffes have you seen? And then you go back and you go, okay, then you flip over a fish, an octopus, and a shark. How many fish, how many octopuses, how many sharks have you seen? So you do that for 30 turns.
I don't
And
have room in my
And
brain.
it plays like very quick. Like it's just turning over cards and like putting numbers on the table. And then you score it. And I did terribly. Like I'm like, I 100% know there was 4 pigs. There was like 7. I'm like, what?
Is
You
this
know?
a grievance or is this just a
No,
game?
it's the game. It's the game. It's called Foxy. It's a really clever web memory game. I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
It was cool. But I'm like, I hate playing games that make me know that my faculties are failing.
Yeah, just make yourself feel better that you're thinking about more important things,
Yeah, I can't.
and you just don't
Yeah,
have
I don't have room for
this
how many
silly
pigs I saw.
game. Yeah.
But it was fun. I can't
Hmm.
I can't say it wasn't fun. We had a good time with it.
Okay.
And the art's fun and it's a good game. So there you go.
Awesome.
We're talking about games we played.
Sure.
Tower Up.
Oh, I like that
Oh.
game.
Can't
Nikki
stop.
played that.
Yeah, I saw the video and I was like, I'm going to do a video of this. And it's like, oh, BGG have done one.
Oh, you can still
Oh,
use
I'm thinking
video.
of Wandering Towers. Never mind.
Yeah. No,
That's a good game too.
Mm-hmm.
really, really, really enjoyable kind of lightweight ticket to ride kind of air, but it's an abstract strategy game which is just blowing my mind at the moment, and I can't win.
Oh, you
My
think you're doing
7-year-old
good?
is
You think
my
you're doing good,
7-year-old
but
is
then the score is happening and don't.
yeah. I
It's
just
all
can't
score
find
at the end.
you yeah, you score at the end, yeah. But mentally you're scoring in your head as you go because it's like, okay, I want to go for that objective, or I want to build here because that's going to move this vehicle along my track and give me more points. Or I need to build there because no one will be able to put a rooftop on top of my rooftop. So it's like you've got all these little balls to juggle.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm trying to find a strategy to win, and it's like I'm going to go for this, I'm going to go for that, and that's it. And nothing's working, and my 7-year-old is kicking my ass.
I need to play that game.
Mm.
I think you like it,
It's
right?
a balancing act. It's difficult, and it's one of those where you want to go for everything and you shouldn't. And
Yeah.
the game is over just as you kind of are getting
Turn in the corner.
stuff together to do something, and it's done.
Was it like a 60-minute game?
Less.
90?
Yeah.
45?
Yeah,
30?
easily. 30 minutes, 2 players, even less maybe, depending on the players, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah. The only thing that doesn't scale well is the map,
No.
unfortunately. I feel that 4 players is probably the best
Too
and the only
crowded.
way to play it.
Oh,
2
if it's
players has its own
too much
2-player
open
map,
space.
but it's like 2 open, 3 players, 2 open, 4 players is when the game comes crunchy, when you're really fighting for space. And then there's times when it's like you do not have the resources you need to build this turn, so you've got to get more. And you really wanted to build this turn because then you could have got a free action or whatever. And it's like, oof. It's one of those games which just makes you want to play it again because you know you can play it better.
Right.
Oh, I need to play this.
Yeah. It's simple. It's a simple
Mhm.
game. You can explain it in 10 minutes.
Cool.
Less than
Who's
10
the
minutes.
designer of that? You know?
Me, I don't
Some
remember.
guy.
I thought it was Frederick Henri, but it's his company, but it's not him. Oh, I can't
Frank
even spell.
Critton and Gregoire Larget. Oh, Sebastian Pachon. We know him.
Mhm.
Jaipur. Jaipur. Ispahan.
Jamaica.
Do you remember
Is that
Jaipur? So what was that? What was that movie with the Jai Ho? Do you guys remember that movie? The Slumdog Millionaire? No,
Oh yeah.
so good. Jamaica, Skyrise, Botanic, Metropolis.
All right.
Hmm.
I'm fading huge, and I gotta get up early. I'm gonna.
Nikki and I have to go finish cleaning the garage.
Yeah.
We left Lincoln there by himself to clean.
I was gonna say, where's Lincoln?
He's
He's in,
still
Lincoln's in the park.
he's in the garage.
It's in the
He
garage.
said he was just gonna play some pinball.
At first, I was like, is he calling
Oh.
mom or?
A new pinball game announced today.
Yeah. What's that?
Anybody know the theme by chance? Any guesses?
Trump.
Barbarella.
I didn't. What say?
Barbarella.
Barbarella? No, not Barbarella. That would be a good theme though. I play a Barbarella game.
Yeah.
Dictator.
No, King Kong.
Oh, that'd be cool.
It's from the team that made Godzilla. So
I
it's
can
high
imagine some fun
expectations.
stuff. Oh, speaking of King Kong, did you see the drone thing that they did with King
Yeah,
Kong?
that was awesome.
That was so
Stern,
cool.
yeah, Stern Pinball posted that.
Holy
Climbing
cow.
the
The
building.
drone climbing the building. Yeah, it was awesome.
Like the stuff they're doing with those drones these days, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, folks, have a great night.
As a grievance.
Aldi, Nikki, I'll see you in a few days.
Yeah.
In a few days.
And everybody else, have a great night.
Take care, man.
Bye. Or morning for Barry.
Have a great day.
Bonsoir.
Yay. Well, if we bail too, is that in the show? Hopefully not. You guys can keep talking. Is Evan
Oh,
around?
Forrest is reading a book apparently.
I know he's having he's got his neck pillow. He looks super comfy.
Just look at some rules. I'm listening.
Oh, you never played Catan?
No, I got the Treasures, Dragons, and Adventures expansion that requires
You need
seafarers.
to
and
play Cities and Nights, my friend.
I have it.
And Nights.
I have it. I enjoy it.
Oh, you have played it?
I've reviewed it like
Oh, okay. Sorry.
7
I
years
thought you hadn't
ago,
done it yet.
10 years ago. No, I've played it.
All right.
We just haven't worked our way up to it. We're going through seafarers right now.
Got it.
Got to play that. I love that game.
Agreed.
All right. Well,
Right,
you
it's
guys can
good.
keep talking.
We'll figure it out without you.
All right.
We'll soldier on without you.
Good to see you
somehow.
I think
guys.
they can
Yeah.
handle.
You guys can handle it without us. Good to
Take
know.
care.
See you guys.
Good to see you, Nikki.
Bye.
Bye.
Say hi to Lincoln for me.
Okay.
Will do.
Oh, finally. Jeez.
That's your catchphrase, isn't it? Finally, what?
So did either of you have an opinion about the Final Frontier thing?
I thought it was pretty entertaining. They lit CMOD on fire.
Yeah.
like I love how blunt they were. Just like, yeah. At the end of the day, CMOD just wouldn't pick up the fucking phone. So if they would have picked up the fucking phone, we probably wouldn't be able to. Like, I think, yeah, they were. Whew.
And then it's all in the comment section on Kickstarter under Cool Mini Games. It's like, okay.
But I mean, honestly, it sounds like there was a lot of other mistakes leading up to that one, and that was just the one that was the straw that broke the camel's back. But it's a pretty damn big straw.
Yeah, there must be a small camel. Could be a small camel and a small straw.
Fair.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And reading everything like that just makes me think of you, for example, Lance, and all the other publishers out there that I know. Like, I want you must be like neck deep in stress and running around like headless chickens, trying to think what we're gonna do, what we're gonna do, what we're gonna do. Is this gonna work if we do that? Do we close? Do we stay open? Do we just stop publishing? Do we take a hiatus?
I mean, you can't, you just got to keep taking steps forward, right? I mean, other than that, you can't do anything else.
Yeah.
It's, publishing board games is tough. You know, I mean, every job's tough. I mean, there's no easy job. I mean, you just have to you just have to figure it out. And I mean, it sounds like I'm kissing my boss's ass, but I mean, I am thankful many times over when I have a boss who is bottom line is he's a businessman first, you know, and he is very careful. He does not extend himself unnecessarily. And I mean, like when we publish a game, we Kickstarter crowdfund a game. Like the first thing he does is he takes the money that he knows he's going to need for manufacturing and shipping, and he puts it in escrow. I mean, he's just like, and I'm not touching that money. It is gone. It is like out of his, out of mind, and he doesn't dip his hands into it. I mean, it's just, and I'm not trying to tell anybody else how to run a company, but I mean, it's one of those things where I'm happy that I have somebody who, has,
Well, like his savings backup.
yeah.
account.
I mean, it's like, oh, I mean, it's like, which is, when we had to deliver the stuff in
COVID.
COVID. Yeah, I mean, it was like one of those things where, um, I mean, everybody with Gray Fox, which isn't a lot of people, mind you,
Mm.
we sat down and we talked, how are we going to do this? I mean, it's either A, people are going to be waiting for their games until prices are real, or what can we do to get them out that isn't us breaking the bank to do it? And, we came up with a decent response, in my opinion, and decent answer. But it's just, I don't know, different companies, different things, whatever. It's people gotta do what they do. And when shit turns sour for people, it sucks. Just sucks all around. And
Yeah.
uh
But yeah,
yeah.
I'm just having a quick look at the last Cool Mini Kickstarter, the Deceased, and the amount of backers which came from the States is probably up to the 70%, 60-70% of all their backers. And they're the ones that might have to let down a bit or whatever they're going to do. They haven't mentioned anything yet. They're just happily posting pictures of the pre-prod stuff and it's coming, it's coming.
Yeah.
But and again, that they've probably got a big team, unlike you. What are they doing?
Well, that's the other thing too, where I'm like, I'm sometimes like, and again, I hate to have this come across like I know better, because I don't know better. And I'll be the first person to admit that I don't know better.
But you know from your experience, that counts for something.
But the thing about it is, like, I hear about these, we've got, you hear about companies, and I don't know what size they are. I don't know what kind of financing they have. I mean, I don't know anything, but you hear about these teams. Oh, we have 12 full-time employees. We have 16 full-time employees.
Yeah.
We've got 9 full-time employees. And I'm just kind of like, how? I'm just like, I mean, how do you afford to pay these people unless you're paying them dirt?
Hmm.
Again, I don't know anything. I don't know. It just seems there are 2 owners of Gray Fox, and I am the only full-time employee they have. Everything else is contracted out. Everything else we do. I mean, and I do a ton of stuff, and whatever I don't do, like, because I can't, I don't draw good, so me not artist guy. So it's just like, you know, that like we contract out our art. And again, I am, I don't know anything. I I don't know. Yeah, so I try not to throw stones or pass judgment, but I just it's one of those things where I don't get it and I don't understand it, and yeah. So I'll just leave it at that. I mean, and I don't know. I mean, in all honesty, TMG, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 full-time employees, and that was probably, way too many.
Hmm.
I mean, I don't know. It just sucks. It sucks all around. And like I said, the people at Final Frontier Games, I mean, I knew a fair number of them, and they're all really awesome, decent, cool people. And I wish them the absolute very best. And I hope. I feel bad for the backers too. I I feel I feel bad for people that like I mean that they just I mean it's just I don't know, whole thing sucks. And uh
What kind
there's
of
that.
dystopian future can you see coming if this stays in place for board game industry? Do you see designers just going to other countries and publishing their games in other countries and not thinking about America at all and not trying to get that, the biggest client, so to speak? Do you see publishing houses moving? Do you see just publishing houses closing? I mean, what kind of,
I mean, we're gonna see more publishing houses close, right?
yeah,
We're gonna see a lot more of them downsize. The one thing that is probably gonna make everything a little bit okay is the fact that there is a lot of people out there that basically it's a one person show,
yeah.
and it isn't their real job. It's their side hustle.
Mm.
And it's gonna be one of those things where it's like, you know, they're they're not really paying themselves to create that board game. And uh so those are games that they're going to be like, yeah, I'm just not going to publish anything for a little while, right? I'm not going to, because I can't afford to pay for it, and I'm not going to pay for it.
Hmm.
um and
Can you see publishers changing and going, okay, I can't make this 200-piece mini game anymore. You know what? We print in America cards. Let's make some card games. Let's make
yeah,
them
I think a
print.
lot of people are going to do that.
Yeah.
Earlier I said that, like, if you were like, we are looking into the idea of making Deception in Murder on Hong Kong in America,
Hmm.
because it's all cards. It's all cards and a few pieces of cardboard.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a um so I mean, and that's something that we will look into, right? Um
And
and
probably think about in the future because it's like a safeguard then. If something shit like this goes away and then comes back and then goes away and comes back, you got something reliable to fall back on all the time. So okay, right, fuck it, we're gonna do a seventh Citadel card game, which will earn us millions on Kickstarter, and then we're gonna do a little small kind of Uno type guy card game, which will sell everywhere in gas stations and in because I mean again, some of the biggest games are the small card games.
yeah. um I mean, it's gonna so uh it's gonna cause, like, the big giant 27 box game of minis. It's just not going to exist anymore.
Hmm.
um because you can't, because the manufacturing price on those is so much that, and that's, because that's what the tariffs, it doesn't, if the MSRP is $100, it isn't that, it's on the manufacturing price. And so, and again, don't nobody should take any of my uh advice here as anything. I am not a businessman. I am not a political guru. I do not know. But I
Yeah.
mean, it's going to be one of those things where it's like, oh, so uh there's uh a game that retails for $50 normally costs between $4 and $6 to make. That's generally the manufacturing cost. That does not mean that a manufacturer is making $44 in every game that's produced.
No.
It's because, if you'll have that. What I'll see a lot too. I mean, and we'll come back to it, is that there will be a lot more companies will be doing a lot more direct sales to straight to people. Like they won't be trying to go through distribution. They'll be like, buy the game directly through us. So they cut. And
The
that's the thing
middleman.
that people aren't going to realize is that like these board game distributors, they're going to have to, because people are going to be like, I can't sell through distribution anymore. You want my game? Come to me. Come to me and get it.
Yeah.
It's going to be like that. And I think it's going to be a lot of stuff like that. And I think it's going to be, uh, it's so if a game is like costs like, $50, it costs like $6 to make. If there's 145% tariff on that, I mean, so if it costs $6, I mean that's another $9 that would so and so like let's say you have a container full of those 2,000 of those games. Well, now they come to America, it's going to be like that's 18 grand more to get that in because then what you're going to pay just to get that in and get that to your warehouse. So those games, in order for you to actually make money, and here's the deal: it's like if you sold that game for $50, you're losing money on that transaction every single time. You're going to have to increase the price by like $10. So that $50 game becomes a $60 game. And that's just a game, right? I mean, that's just games. There's all kinds of stuff out there that are like, that aren't games. That everything is going to be like that. It's going to cost
Your
you,
coffees, your pineapples, your
yeah, it's just going to cost you more across the board. And
yeah.
that's the thing that's and and I don't want to get too political here, but I mean, you can't just go to everybody in a country and say, okay, everything's going to cost 150% more now
Mm.
because okay, are you going to like lower taxes? Are you going to increase minimum wage? Are you going to do any of these things that need to be done so then this can work? No. Oh, okay. Just like so that's why I think like it's so ludicrous and it's so insane that I guess I still hold out hope that it's just gonna happen. Somebody said something, and it's like, not to mention replacement parts that might just have to go away. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's like, oh, I only got 38 purple cubes and I was supposed to get 40. Yeah, well, tough. I just like I'm not going to tear open a game that I can sell for $60 and I need that $60 so I can take two purple cubes out and give them to you.
Mm.
It's just not going to happen. Yeah, I mean, it's like I just it's I I think that I had a Schadenfreude moment earlier today and I felt a little bit bad about it. Had a
No.
guy email me, say, hey, I never got my game. And I was like, well, I see this thing as it was delivered in January to you. Yeah, well, I never got it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, well, let me look at this. And I looked at his tracking number, pulled it up in FedEx, and there was a picture. And normally like, oh, we left it on your front porch, kind of thing. And you're always just kind of like, well, you hope that's the guy's porch. But the thing about it is that they left it. It was weird. It was like in this like box that must be like they have something for packages, right? Where it's like, oh, put it in this box for me so it can stay out of the rain. I don't have to worry about it getting rained on. So the FedEx driver had placed it in this box, and you can see he's holding up the lid and he's taking a picture of it, and that's what it says delivered. And I was like, huh. And I was like, well, the tracking says it was delivered to you. And he was like, well, I didn't get it. And he's like, and then like he kind of intimated, he's like, well, how do I know that's my house? And so I pulled up his address in like Google Maps and I looked at his like street view and I was
Yeah.
able to look at his front door and I can see the box sitting next to the door that he has that he puts his stuff in. I'm like, dude, it's your fucking house. I mean, it's just like, I mean, yeah, I mean, if somebody, I mean, how many times I get is somebody is like, I never got my game, and I'm like, yeah, here's the tracking, it got delivered to you, and they're like, oh yeah, I found it, I didn't open up the box and I got it, I just put
Oh
it on a
God.
pile.
How many boxes do people get?
I don't know, but it was like, yeah, I apologize. And then there's and to be fair, some people get their stuff stolen, from their
Yeah.
from off their front lawn, which sucks.
Yeah.
I'll say that all day long. That sucks. And usually when that happens, we will say, I can't send you another one, but if you're willing to pay like our manufacturing cost plus shipping, we'll hook you up. Just like, so, and we try to be the nice guy,
Mhm.
and, not that person goes above and beyond and tells everybody that we're amazing or anything like that. I mean, but it's good to have positive vibes out there in the world.
A
But
future customer.
But after that guy was just blasting me left and right. What are you gonna do for me? What are you gonna do for me? You guys suck. And I was like, dude, this is your house. I sent him an email. I was like, this is the picture, and here's that same box you can see outside your house. I mean, I don't know what you want me to do. It got delivered to you, buddy. And he hasn't responded yet. He probably thought I was being a dick when I did that, which I was kind of being a dick. But he was already being kind of a grouch. So
Yeah. Or he was deliberately conning you out with second copy.
yeah. Well, there's definitely people. It sucks because I've caught enough people that try to do that now I just kind of like uh think that's what they're doing. Forrest, you sleeping or what are you doing?
Nah, I'm slaying down.
Now, before I forget, Forrest, what's our word that somebody's got to post in the comments to prove that they watched the episode?
Bentley.
Bentley. You heard it here first, folks. Bentley. All right, I'll be right back, guys. I gotta go check on something. I'll be
Is
right
that the safe word? That's why Forrest is getting comfy on that. I'm ready for you, Lance. Remember, the safe word is Bentley. What you preparing? The next video, your next project, your next board game, your next class? Just
Yeah, next board game. Trying to get into the habit of just working on a piece of paper and keep adding to it.
yeah.
'Cause
That's the only way to-
my kids are really into it and they want to design a game too, and they want to just make it and play it as a family. Because I made some like Catan expansion stuff, and I was like, it'll be fun. We got these extra little components from a 5 and 6 player expansion. Let's make some stuff, and they were getting into it.
Yeah. You still with the Game Crafter or?
No. Well, I mean, I stopped doing it just because I was getting burnt out. And he's like, you can come back if you ever want to, but no,
No.
I never came back. I mean, I'm a stay-at-home dad now, so I
I
try
thought
and
you said.
I try and focus on that until she goes back into school, and then I can put the foot on the pedal. But I'm slowly getting closer to that anyway. Just cleaning my basement and playing more games and getting into the rhythm.
Yeah. Stay at home dad. What about online teaching?
Well, she was going to go to school at the end of this summer, but then she didn't get into the school we were hoping to get into that her
Yeah.
brother's going to. So I think we're just going to keep her one more year because my degree's in education, so it's not hard.
Yeah. You feeling the pinch from the tariffs?
No, not yet.
No.
I mean, I think they're going to come in the next probably this summer, but right now I don't really feel them at all yet.
Yeah. Yeah. Same here. I mean, when you think about it, we don't really buy a lot of stuff which is typically manufactured in America. When you think of your day-to-day life, most of the stuff is either made here or in Germany or Spain or China. So, yeah, which is nice. Bentley. So how's the tidying up of your basement going then? Should be done by now. You're at home all day.
Yeah, but I'm fighting against a 3-year-old
Yeah?
because this is where we spend most of the day, like during the day to get together. So it gets wrecked pretty much every day, and then fixed and wrecked and fixed and wrecked. Right now, I'm going through all of her games, and we're playing 2 of those a day like a couple
Hmm.
days a week, and she's really getting into games. It's helping her learn a bunch too. So two
Yeah.
birds, one stone.
Yeah. Yeah. It will be great to see where where they develop and how they develop. I mean, my one's playing games practically most of the time he's with me. But it's like, is he really going to learn anything from Zombie Side? Is he really learning anything from Tower Up? Is he really learning anything from, you know, I
Ugh.
want to try and get him into, small light text games so he can learn to read English instead
Mm-hmm.
of just French. He's starting to read French quite well at the moment, so but it's still a bit too early to get into some of those games with, those cards with, more than a sentence of text. Because then it takes like a good 5 minutes to process it and understand what it's doing.
Never thought about that for learning another language. It's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Chad Roberts wants to know if you're still working with Monolith.
I was just going to answer. I've never worked for Monolith. I've worked with Monolith, just promoting stuff, but that was about it. And that was the Conan Batman era,
Oh yeah.
way back in the day. I think they appreciated what I said and what I did. Basically all I did was demo for them. Oh, I did claustrophobia as well. But yeah.
That Batman game was a mess.
The rule book there was, but that game was fun.
Oh yeah.
Once you slog through the damn rules.
Yeah. That's why I did a video. And I was hoping that from the video they would go, okay, yeah, we need to rewrite the rule book this way. But
The
no.
minis for the Conan game were freaking amazing.
Mm,
I wish I had just thrown away the game and kept the minis, but I guess I did sell the game to somebody for pennies on the dollar, but I wish I'd kept those fucking minis. They were amazing.
yeah.
Uh,
I wish I kind of wish I kept it. But Batman's the same system. Batman is a theme I adore. Conan I barely know. But yeah. I actually played that a couple of weeks ago with the 7-year-old.
yeah.
He didn't
I
like
don't
it.
know. Well, I was like, when I heard about the Final Frontier stuff, I was like, oh, and I started thinking about the games, and I was like, why did I get rid of Cavern Tavern and Rise to Nobility and all this stuff? And I was like, oh, because I wasn't playing them. And I had that
Yeah.
moment of like, oh, I should have kept them. And I was like, why? Just like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
you can be annoyed that you have these games that you never play. I mean, just be thankful you just gave them to somebody else who
yeah.
theoretically
Plays
played
with them.
them and
Mm,
had fun with them, So I
yeah.
mean,
I sometimes think about that with Mythic Battles because they sent me the whole lot, and I was like, it's a great system, but it's not the game that I like playing. It's just, yeah,
it's too much. I'm not. I get annoyed by these games that are like, oh yeah, it's like 27 campaigns and over 97 hours of play. Just like I barely get a half-hour game of fucking strike in, much less, I mean, just like you want me to play this game 87 times and no, it's not
Mm.
happening. I
Yeah,
don't know.
it's different if it's a solo game because you can just do that. But
Yeah, but I mean, if I'm gonna play a solo game, I'm gonna play a fucking video game. I mean,
mm,
it's just like, I mean, and I know that's not exactly the most popular thing in the world to say, but I mean, it's like, oh, it's a solo game, cool. So okay, spend
yeah,
45 minutes setting it up. Okay, no, okay, get it all, and it's just and the whole time, and then you play it for an hour, and you're like, well, that was fun, and then you're like, and then it's like, so do I tear? I didn't finish it. Do I tear this down? Is it, I mean, do I leave it up? I mean, it's just like and then it's just like, so if I tear it down, I got to remember exactly where I was and what I was
yeah.
doing, and I mean, I just.
I don't agree with you, but I don't disagree with you, if you know what I mean. I mean, it is easier just to switch on the telly, push a button, and then you're in another world. But sometimes it's nice to go into a world which you can't get in a video game,
Well, it's like what I said about
like a book. A book you can't compare again, you can't compare books and films together. A film's easy to watch, a book takes a lot more to get into, but the book can tell you a story which a TV cannot. It delves into
So
subject matter and paints pictures that you cannot make. Wow, you can now, but
yeah, no,
go on.
I mean it's when it was like, oh, we're gonna do the Darkest Dungeon board game, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's like one of my favorite video games of all time. I can't
Mm,
wait. But then the more I thought about that game, the more I thought about all the stuff that you just basically have to monitor and take care of, and like, okay, this person's got this much stress, this person's got this much stress, this person's taking this much damage, this person, like the constant amount of upkeep that you have to
hmm
do that the video game just takes care of for you, right? It just
Yeah,
does it. I mean,
yeah,
it's just like you don't have to sit there and monkey with everything. I was like, this isn't going to be fun. I was just like, it's just everybody's going to hate having to, keep track of all that stuff. And then they ended up not like, isn't that the one that they never delivered because of problems? I don't know.
mm,
I can't remember.
don't know.
Um,
They might have, yeah. I think someone else bought the rights to it because I do remember seeing it as like a Facebook advert somewhere. But
Somebody
yeah,
in the comments will tell us if because I remember that was a thing where it was like it was really far behind and backers were like, "Where's our stuff?" And I mean, and it just and who knows? I mean, something happened one way or the other.
yeah,
It's kind of like Stellaris. Like everybody's like, is that ever going to come out? From Academy, and I think Uva will come out with it. I mean, I don't think that's. But that's another thing too, where it's like, oh, well, we made this game that's got 7,000 components and a million plastic pieces
yeah.
and just and now it's going to cost us how much more money if we get it out of China? I mean, and those backers have been, or have not been happy. And if
No,
you go into the comment section for Stellaris, you will. Yeah, I mean, there are people that you know, they're basically like, where's our stuff? Where's our game? Where's our game? And anytime there's an update, they take it as a moment to, oh well, they popped out of their hole, so I can tell them what for, and I can tell them how
mm,
much I hate them.
yeah.
And then and it's just so I can't imagine a world where they're going to be able to go back to backers and say, so we're going to need another $40 out of each of you for these tariffs. I mean, they're going to tell
Mm,
them to go sit and spin.
yeah.
Um,
And again, he's got quite a reputable company as well.
well, yeah.
Many great games under his belt.
Oh, Freedom Underground. What a great
Yeah,
game.
yeah. And that's another thing. I've been hearing a lot of people saying that, okay, when the goods arrive, they're not going to pay for them, so they're going to be sat somewhere. Where are they going to be sat? How long are they going to be sat there? When is that space going to run out eventually with cargo containers because nobody wants to pay the tariffs?
Well, yeah. And well, that's the other thing too. I don't even know how it works. Like, is it a situation where it's like, oh, you don't get your stuff until you pay the tariffs? I mean, I've heard some people say, oh, after I got my stuff, I got a letter 2 weeks later that said you owe us this much more for tariffs or something.
Mm,
So I mean, I don't even know how that works. I
no,
mean, it's I don't know. It seems just crazy and like I said, it just doesn't seem like it makes any sense.
there's no forward
I
planning. There's no, yeah, it's just arbitrary. You know what? I don't want this steak and chips meal. I just want an ice cream. It's just like, okay, do we do ice cream here? No, but I want ice cream, so you're going to give me ice cream, and it's like scurry, scurry, scurry. I went next door, bought a tub of ice cream. Here you go. Oh, I don't like vanilla.
yeah,
Fuck's.
I don't know.
Yeah,
It is a great deal of hand wringing and uncertainty and and all of the publishers are basically staying around going, this sucks, and I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Mm.
And because they don't, and nobody has an answer, right? I mean, it's just kind of like,
It's
and
like
like,
that.
and we're so focused in on our industry, we don't think about all the other industries that are being affected by this all. I mean, like,
Oh, clothing,
yeah, I mean, exactly. Clothing industry,
toys.
food, toys, you know. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just, I don't know. It
Yeah.
is, it is a Looney Tunes world we're living in right now,
Yeah. I mean,
and
who honestly wants to buy American pig feet? We have pigs in France. We can eat their feet.
yeah, I don't know. It's well, and that's just it. Like one of the biggest like the China's putting a giant tariff on American beef coming in.
Hmm.
And it's just like, so what are all these cattle farmers going to do? Like that. I mean, you had a billion people in China that you had as a place where they would be, collecting theoretically, the beef, and they'd have that as an option or whatever. But now you've lost that giant customer base.
Yeah.
I mean, it just seems just ludicrous, and it just seems like the reasoning behind it is, and the thing that annoys me the most is the fact that, like, oh well, why is it like this? Why do this trade deficit, why does it exist? It's like, oh, because all of our industries and the people that were in charge of these things, basically, they they wanted to make more money,
Money by
so
doing
they
nothing.
moved all of their manufacturing outside of the US because it costed more to make it.
Hmm.
And that's why we're in this spot we are. So yeah, it's just like, but those billion-dollar corporations aren't feeling it. They're not gonna like, oh yeah, well, yeah, you're right. We'll just make less money. No,
Yeah.
they're just, they're gonna fuck the people that are buying their shit. I mean,
Hmm.
it's just like, I just
Yeah. I mean,
It's
I
rough.
kind of predicted that he was doing this so all the companies would have to sell up or go into liquidation. So his buddies would buy up all these other companies for pittance. And then he'd switch the tap back on. And then, oh, these companies are doing really well. And now his friends have all own 27 businesses which are making multi-million doobies. And what happened? He did that.
yeah, I just
Yeah. It's
no,
a
I mean,
nasty
and
game to play.
yeah, no, and that's the thing that, like, will drive me crazy with people is that, like, they're like, oh well, I'm proud of how we're standing up to China and blah. Yeah, you don't even know what you're talking about.
No.
And and it's just, that's
It's like
whatever.
if you're trying to quit smoking, you don't go cold turkey. You break it down. You go bit by bit. It's like when you go on a diet, you don't just stop eating. You just eat less and less each day. And this is tactically just a fucking cold turkey thing. And there's going to be side effects, major side effects.
Well, that and the people, like, saying, I can't believe that he did this. It's like, well, he said he was going to do it,
Going to do
but,
it.
like,
Yeah.
how many times did he? That's the thing that drives me the worst, is that it's like, is that they. Well, I had no idea that he was going to do this, and it's just kind of like, how did you have no idea that he was going to do this? I mean, he campaigned on it. I mean, he said it loud and proud anytime he could, just like, wow.
It's like, how deaf are people? It's like, uh,
I don't have the answers.
it's like watching a kid eating ice cream and you're saying, eat it quicker or it's going to fall on the floor. And they don't. And all of a sudden it just falls on the floor.
Yeah.
It's like, for fuck's sake.
Why aren't you listening?
Yeah. Told you. Papa was right.
But anyway,
Yeah.
I uh I don't have. I mean, it's usually at some point it's like, oh well, I don't know. I guess I played a lot of D&D last weekend. That was fun.
Good.
Play with my son's group and played with my buddy's group. So I mean, so that was a good time. Sitting around a table, eating pizza,
Yeah.
you know, talking about how the world was fucked. Just how Americans do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I recently
Um,
started playing D&D in French. It's very
oh
hard.
no.
It's very hard.
Um,
Especially some of the players talk a bit too fast for me, and it's like you're trying to pick up the words and go, okay, right, okay, you're going to do that, are you? I'm going to do this then, and they say, no, don't do that because I've done that. It's like, okay, fine, I didn't understand.
yeah, well, I didn't hear what you said or understand what you said,
Yeah,
so I have been trying to come up with a better way to run initiative in my home game. Because I hate initiative.
yeah. Why?
Just because it takes so long. It's like every rolls, and then you're like, okay, just like who got okay, they may get a because I just trying to figure out a quick way to do it, and my players are absolutely hate the idea of doing the classic both of us roll a six-sided die, and then they absolutely just hate that. They want their characters to have whatever. So last time we played, I just said um players just get to go first. The opponents will always go last.
Yeah.
I just and then they were like, oh, okay, and then but it's not a very dynamic way to do it, right? I mean, it's just kind of like
Uh,
it's
it
just like,
depends.
well, yeah, I mean, it's just like, oh, we always know we always go first. I mean, it's like, so it doesn't really change things up much. But
What
I was
about
a
sticking to the basic initiation number? Because I mean, all of the characters have a basic initiation, 12, 7. And then it's just the monsters that will change in between the characters. The characters will always play, the heroes will always play in their order, but there might be a monster there one round, or there another turn there might be a monster there, or there might be three monsters.
hmm,
Kind of, what is it? Mice and Mystics styly. Oh, you could do
that
that. Get a
that
deck of
was
cards. Each
that's
character, each monster, go boom, boom, boom.
yeah. Oh, that might work, yeah. But then that's just happenstance too. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't
Especially
know. I don't
especially
know
a
what.
thief that always goes first, for example, because they're always sneaky and they got a very high initiative. Yeah, that wouldn't work. But as I said, just stick to the basic initiative numbers.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it doesn't
Um.
make sense that the dwarf is the one that goes first. They were asleep.
Yes.
They were asleep, but their initiative all of a sudden, oh, they were awake and they're already hitting a goblin. Oh, how did that happen? The elf? What was he doing? Wanking? Those trousers up.
Elves
Oh,
don't wank. They're they're good and what are you writing there,
awesome.
Forrest?
Love letters.
Like the game love letter?
No, no, I'm cheating on my wife with numerous other people.
Bentley, Bentley.
No, really, what are you writing?
Just a game design idea.
Oh yeah?
Yeah,
You've published a game, so you could do it.
yeah, yeah. An adult party game, so I guess.
Of cheating on your wife and writing love letters.
What was the name of your game you made again?
Help wanted.
Help Wanted.
Not a good name for a game.
Well, you did it on Kickstarter. How much money did you raise?
No,
I think it's like 9, 10,000 bucks a long time ago.
That's like $1
no.
million now. Yeah.
No, no, it's not how inflation works.
Oh. uh,
Oh, good old Kickstarter. You type the name and it doesn't find it.
Help Wanted, printed in 2013. ridiculous problems, hilarious solutions. Designed by Forrest Bauer.
Oh yeah.
I love how you have both game designer and board game publisher on your thing. That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
What about
A game description. A game creator out of Fort Wayne, Indiana, co-creator of Baca Forest Games. Source: I am Forrest Bauer.
Oh my god, they played it on beer and board games.
They did. That was actually, yeah, it was a good video. I was pleasantly surprised when I saw that. I was like, whoa, they're funny
Yeah.
dudes.
Oh right, so you didn't sponsor them to play it. They just picked it up somewhere and
Yeah.
Help Wanted is an adult party game in which players compete against each other to see who can provide the best solution for another player's problem. Help Wanted includes a lot of different problems to solve, ranging from the ridiculous to the apocalyptic. To solve these problems, players will have over 400 different solution cards for a grand total of over 500 cards. And add in the human elements of interpretation and presentation, the possibilities are infinite. With similar party games, you find yourself playing one artless card face down in secret while a judge chooses their favorite and leaves you wondering about their logic when your card was clearly the best choice. You find yourself arguing your point and explaining that everyone else is clearly dumb, but the decision has already been made. Bummer. With Help Wanted, you still want the judge to choose you, but you have the opportunity to weave together a short narrative to state your case by combining up to 3 different solution cards and wooing the judge with your keen intellect.
It's Cards Against Humanity, except you get a handful of cards, then you string together a short story using 3 of your cards. And we actually had art on all of our cards.
9 years ago, Mulligan said, "Hey all, one of my friends played this and is looking to find a copy. I checked the publisher Facebook and see that it's all sold out. Sad to see no users are trading or selling. Just posting if there's any news on a new print run or if there are any secondhand copies around. Thanks." Forrest Bauer responded, "I'm hoping to do a Kickstarter second print run later this year, most likely Q4. And then he responded again, "We are tentatively planning to run the Kickstarter the week after Christmas, still with the $25 price point. Woohoo!"
That did not happen.
And then Danny Lamprey posted after that, "Did this ever happen?" And then True Flight Silverwing responded, "I know it's been a few years, but I have a copy in very good shape that I was about to list if you're still looking." Very good shape.
One of these days I might reprint that.
yeah. It comes free with every game topper. It's got its own game topper mat.
No, that was we went Cards Against Humanity, but like 3 or 4 steps further. It was
Okay.
it would not fly now. Well, I mean, here's the thing. It would fly nowadays with the Cards Against Humanity crowd, but it would be yeah. I'd get some heat.
What I can't understand, as a publisher, you called yourself Backer Forest Games instead of Backer Bauer.
BBDD77 gave it a 5 and said, "Some dude kickstarted it and had some extra copies and he gave it to me. Where the judge knows who is coming up with the solution, it makes the game not very fun."
Still, it's above 5 on BGG, so it's above 6.
Doc Skunk gave it an 8. Said, "Love this game. It was a local made game."
The guy who gave it a 5, like, I feel like your friends are taking it too serious because it's whoever gives you the best story you pick. So you shouldn't be like, this guy's gonna win if I give him the point. Like, I don't know.
R. Cedar gave it a 4 and said, "Forgettable party comparison game without enough thematic cohesion to really appeal to any particular group and too much foul language to use with kids. It just misses the mark."
Too much foul language to use with kids. Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah.
Chris Knife gave it a 5. Oh, wait a second. Sir Bubbles gave it a 9. And he said, one of my favorite party games.
Yeah, that's my friend Flanny. No, that don't count.
Chris Knife gave it a 5 and said, similar to Cards Against Humanity, requiring more creativity on the players. Still very entertaining. Recommended playing with a hand of 7 cards instead of 5, as the rulebook states. We had 5 cards. We find 5 cards limits our storytelling options. My only criticism of the game, and he gave it a 5. My
Doesn't
only
say 5. That's a
criticism.
pretty good. I felt like it was a pretty good review for that 5.
My only criticism of the game is there are a few blank cards disguised as "we're busy, create your own problem." Maybe with more games, I'll be more inclined to weave a problem I think my opponents can solve. So far, I just skipped those cards and buried them at the bottom of the deck. Chantilly gave it a 1.
Oof.
Said, I pledged for this on Kickstarter and was very excited about it until I started seeing all the obscenely sexual and perverse cards that people were submitting after the campaign had ended. The end product was such that I, as a 43-year-old who has worked in law enforcement and seen and heard all kinds of things, feels mortified to even show anybody. Sadly, I can't even play it. And
Forrest.
I really was looking forward to it because the dynamics and mechanics of the game seemed as if it would flow quite well.
Wait, the thing is, they didn't make that many cards, and our cards were worse than their cards by far.
Currently, this game is buried in my game closet and will not be making any guest appearances. I think the only way it will come out is if someone inadvertently steals it, thinking it's something different.
Okay, Forrest, this made me laugh.
That's great.
I was looking around the ratings of your game, and I've just lost it, which is at 21,000 and where's it gone? I was looking around to see what other games were about the similar rating. Yeah, your game's about 2,188.
21,000.
21,788. Guess whose game is at 21,801?
Whoa, who'd I beat?
Tom Vassell.
Oh, wait, nothing personal? Oh, the
No.
fish game.
Fishes.
Oh, get fucking wrecked, Tom. Should have put more insanely vulgar and crude material on it. You might have ranked
Milky Man gave it a 7.
Ooh, that's respectable.
From the couple of games I have played so far, it seems this game will either make for a good time or it can turn the mood from fun to awkward. What I mean by this is that the topics that you might have to assemble from these cards are not suitable for some people. Although some cards are mainly pretty clean or just a little dumb, in a good way if you ask me, you might find some Adolfs and other plain disgusting topics that some people might be sour about. Just like in Cards Against Humanity, you can go totally inappropriate and others will have fun with it if people understand it as a game, not an official announcement of somebody's opinions. I have liked it so far, but I will think through when I offer to play this game, since it really can offend some people.
Yeah.
That sounds honest.
Lunas in South Bend, Indiana, gave it a 7.5 and said this game gets much better with more players. There are too few solutions provided for the problems. 6 seems like a good number. To prevent good answers from losing, I think we're going to try not keeping score and just play with a time limit. Hey, Baka gave it a 10.
Oh, don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody.
Played fast and loose with the thing.
Yeah.
Matria gave it a 5. Good adult party game and one I'd probably pull out for others, such as Cards Against Humanity and Say Anything. However, I'm not the target demographic for this game, since I'd almost always prefer to not play a party game. I like this more than Cards Against Humanity since it won't get as stale. However, it requires more creativity than Cards Against Humanity, so this could be problematic late at night when we're likely only to play these types of games. One improvement would be make the cards a little less specific. Remove the beginning portion of each card. I live next to, etc. I think this will allow people to be a little more creative. Some may get pigeonholed into using the beginning portion of their story. The
Mm.
drawings and captions are definitely the highlight of this game. People get a kick out of them, and more laughs come from those than the actual game.
Eric, yep,
The
his art.
cards would be great options to use in illustrations if the artwork wasn't already included. The aforementioned artist gave it a 10, as we said. And the final one we have here is a 9 from Quintus from Bellevue, Washington. What a wildly entertaining, fun little card game. Unlike Cards Against Humanity, which becomes dull after a while, this one seems to be designed more about how not how inappropriate the situation response can be, but rather the type of story the person with the card can weave around it in order to make the cards bloom.
Bingo.
That is a much needed improvement over, hey, look, it's two midgets shitting in a bucket. Very good addition to my collection, even if the production value is a little down, even by card game standards. This is a solid 9 for its genre.
Yeah. Because of the creativity, probably, which really helps it. Players having to use their imaginations and whiz themselves out of the dungeon somehow.
There you go. Where's second edition, man? Second edition, help wanted.
I love story games. I wanted to make one.
Well, we'll wait patiently for second edition to come out.
We're waiting.
Well, I suppose it's 12:30. You're writing love letters. Barry needs to go tend to his vineyard. I need to go to bed. I don't know.
Yeah, get rid of those worried lines underneath your eyes.
There you go. Try. I don't know. Everybody be good to yourselves. Go back the Board Game Geek Kickstarter and help out Aldi. And then I don't know. Gentlemen, try to get some sleep. Yeah. Forrest, go to bed. You need to
Later.
rest.
He's switched on, mate. He's got a game brewing.
I know, he's got a game brewing. All right.